Thank you very much for joining me this morning. We do appreciate your support, direct and indirect support. And I hope you all had a wonderful week. And I also pray that you have good health and that, you know, you are able to go on about your business as much as you can. As we all know, in the United Kingdom, and especially England and Wales, this week the government announced new measures in relation to coronavirus and COVID-19. And as we know, we are all on a lockdown. However, due to the nature of our work, justice and law solicitors, we are still working. And in order to protect our clients and to protect people who wish to come and see us, we have adopted a new style or technology whereby we are able to do applications. We are also able to speak to clients. We are able to meet the needs of our client, even in these difficult times, so that at all times we can keep delivering to you all. So by all means, if you want to advise from us, or if you want us to do anything for you, for us, it's business as usual. You need to call us and we can then arrange appointment with you. And we can actually take instructions through Zoom, or we can call you if we know you. In some circumstances, if you are an existing client and you need to renew your visa, then by all means, we have all your information there in the office already. All that you have to do is to pick up the phone, give us instructions, and we will do the rest for you. Just to make sure that you don't lose your job, just to make sure that your employer do not ask you to go and stay home until you have renewed your visa. Justice and law is always been our policy to ensure that in most applications, before the visa expires, we send the application 2 months before your visa expires. Why do we do that? We do that so that we can secure your interest. And how do we secure your interest? We make sure that the application is put in on time. We can then engage with your employers so that they know the application is gone. We can then give them instructions or guidance on how they can check with the Home Office to make sure that your application is there in order to effect Section 3C leave, which will enable you to work until such time that the Home Office makes a decision in your case. So by all means, if you are an existing client and potentially you are facing difficulties from your employers, or you can anticipate problems, do not sit there and say that because you are on a lockdown, so you are doing nothing about it. It's important, it's incumbent upon you to do the best that you can. Come to us so that we can put the application in on time. And if the employer comes to you or try to challenge you about your right to work, all that you have to do is to pick up the phone, speak to Justice and Law, take the person's email address and leave the rest for us. Because many a times you speak to your employer, either they may not believe you, or if you give them anything, they may not take you serious. But when they realize that you've got a lawyer behind you, I will tell you this. I will say many cases, majority of cases, the matter gets settled through your lawyer and also, through the negotiations that we will do on your behalf. We are living in a very tough economic climate, and this is not the time to joke with your work. So please, do not allow something to happen before you start seeking legal advice. And this is not the time also to be doing things yourself. Because at the end of the day, if the employer comes to you and start challenging you and start asking about your right to work, and you did the application yourself, what we have found is that many people have difficulties in convincing their employers that they have put in their application. I've had people contacting me after being homemade lawyers themselves and being asked to provide evidence of their right to work. At that time, they'll be rushing to a lawyer for a lawyer to challenge the employer in relation to the legalities of their right to stay in the UK and work whilst their application is pending at the Home Office. The difficulty that we have as lawyers is this. If I did not submit the application, I will not be in any position to do what? To challenge the employer or to state emphatically that your application is pending. I will not put my neck on the line like that, because whether you have sent it or you have not sent it is something that I do not know, and therefore I can only rely on what you tell me. Take it this way. What about what you've told me is incorrect? You see, so therefore in this type of scenario, everyone have to cover their own back. And if I was not the one who submitted the application, unfortunately, there is no way that I'm going to put my reputation online to argue that the application has been submitted. So it is for this reason, or sometimes part of the reasons why, lawyers will not put their necks on the line, especially if the application was not submitted by the lawyer. So for me, it is vital, it's important that you need to consider whether the need to save a bit of money, i.e. the money that you pay to the lawyer, for the lawyer to fight and secure your employment and your job, and also whether you want to save that money and take the risk of being asked to come and stay home until such time that a decision is made by the Home Office. We can do small calculations. Let's see the cost and the benefit in seeking the services of a lawyer in this type of situation and scenarios. If you get a lawyer to do the case for you, let's just say the lawyer charges you £1,500. Okay, let's just assume that that is the case, and the lawyer submit the application for you. The employer comes harsh on you that I need evidence. You have a competent lawyer such as justice and law solicitors. We are able to negotiate with the employer and fight your corner, and you stay in the job. So in that case, you are not going to go home, and you are going to get paid. As we all know now, because of the COVID, Home Office, you submit an application. If you are lucky, within 2 months you make it. You get a decision. If you are not so lucky, this can go on for maybe another 5 to 6 months. And all these 5 to 6 months, you are staying home, you are not getting paid. And therefore, every month, you are losing monthly wages for, say, about 5 to 6 months. In this type of situation, you actually end up losing more money than the money that you have paid to the lawyer for the lawyer to do a fantastic job for you. But once again, it's a matter of choice. People may decide that they will take the risk, which is fine. But if it doesn't pay off, the consequences and the price to pay, as demonstrated, is severe. We get this type of cases every week, this type of inquiries every week. Whilst as a lawyer, I know that what the employer is doing is incorrect and therefore illegal, because Section 3C extend leave for people who put in their application before the expiry of their existing visa. Most employers are not familiar with the law, and therefore they may not know. And the consequences is that since you did the application yourself, you don't have anyone to back you. You don't have anyone to support you. And the consequences is that you come and you can stay home for a long period of time. You could end up about 4 to 5 months wages. So imagine you are working and you are getting paid, say, £1,000 a month. You stay home for 5 months, you lose £5,000. Even if you have paid a lawyer £1,500 compared to the £3,500 that you will lose as a result of not getting lawyers involved. We have to leave the mouths to you to do it. But then again, people are different. People perceive things differently, and people act differently. But that is a matter of choice that one have to make. However, if you do the application yourself and you come to see Lawyer Darko because your job is at risk, your employers are threatening to sack you because you are unable to provide evidence of your right to work, and you come to me, unfortunately, all that I can do is to explain the law to them and tell them that you have instructed me or you have told me that you have submitted the application. I cannot say that I have submitted the application because I have simply not submitted the application for you. But if I have submitted the application, you instructed me to do the job for you, then when I'm going forward, I can categorically state, I can emphatically state that the application has been submitted by me, that the application has been submitted by justice and law solicitors, by virtue of Section 3C of the Immigration Rules, by virtue of the Immigration Section 3C of the Immigration Rules or Immigration Act of 1971, it is unlawful and illegal for you to suspend my client or for you to bring my client's employment contract to an end. And if you dismiss him or you continue to suspend him, that will be in breach of his Employment Rights Act. And on that basis, either I will advise my client to resign from the employment and seek remedy at the Employment Tribunal on the basis of constructive dismissal. Constructive dismissal is an idea or a phenomenon whereby there has been a breach of mutual trust and confidence, i.e., the employer has demonstrated that he does not believe you, that he does not trust you, despite all the fact that you are telling the employer that you have submitted your application. In some cases, you have actually shown evidence or payment of the receipt of the application fee, and they are still doubting you. In such scenario, you could claim that there has been a breach of mutual trust and confidence, and on that basis, you can no longer work for the employer, and on that basis, you can go to the Employment Tribunal for a remedy. There has been a lot of cases over the couple of weeks in relation to this, and I have had clients in that situation, and I'm fighting for them. In majority of them, the employers have agreed. Majority of them, they are going back to the Home Office to check whether my clients have got the right to work as I am stating. And no doubt, no shadow of a doubt, that when they get in touch with the Home Office will confirm that yes, they have the right to work because they are protected by Section 3C leave. So that is what I can say in regards to this. Today's topic that we are going to be treating, I call it Mind the Gap, 10-year route to settlement. Mind the Gap. It's an area that I think is important that we go through stage by stage for people to understand the policy of 10 years route to settlement. And this policy has been in existence since 2012. Theresa May, as a Home Secretary, introduced what we called within the legal field the 10-year rule to settlement. The 10-year rule to settlement speaks for itself, that you have to complete 10 years lawful stay before you can get settlement or before you can get indefinite leave to remain in the UK. It is important that we understand this. As I speak to you, I have a case, and I will use this as an example so that we can learn a valuable lesson from this. As a lawyer, sometimes, you also get confused because you think about the economic reality and then you think about the legal reality. So before I go on to that, I will encourage everyone who have tuned in to please share the program for us, because it's important. By sharing the program, I believe that you'll be saving your brother's life. You'll be saving them money as well, especially this 10-year route to settlement, because there is always the temptation of allowing the economic reality to overshadow the legal reality. But when it comes to law rules supreme. The law is supreme, and that is it. Because when we are making legal decisions, when we are talking law, we don't talk religion. When we are talking law, we don't talk economics. When we are talking law, we don't talk common sense. When we are talking law, we don't talk science. The supremacy of the law. Whether the law makes sense, whether it may not make sense, it is the law. You apply the science of law, period. So today it is important that I think what we are going to talk about, especially the 10-year route to settlement, we all pay attention to this. And we simply just have to follow the law. Forget about economics, like I said, forget about everything else. Just talk the law. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because I am in the same dilemma. I am in the same situation. Yes, you have to get settlement or indefinite first before you can apply for British citizenship. So it is very, very important. So maybe before I talk about that, let me just go through the process, how the process works, so that people get a better understanding. Okay. Theresa May, since 2012, changed the basics of the immigration law in this country. Theresa May introduced something called Appendix FM of the immigration rules, and therefore the old style of paragraph, whatever of the rules disappeared. So now you need to make reference to Appendix FM of the immigration rules. Theresa May, in her wisdom, decided, for example, in order to become a British, or in order to become settled, i.e. to get indefinite in this country, you have to complete at least 10 years lawful stay. But there are exemptions. Exemption is through maybe marriage. Exemption is maybe through marriage to an European. Exemption is maybe work permit visa for 5 years. Exemption is maybe innovating visa for 5 years. Exemption is maybe refugee status. But when it comes to those people who have remained here unlawfully, and a visa is being granted on the basis of human rights, then in that case, especially the one that we call 250 bars pass, especially those people whose visas has been given on the basis of human rights or on the basis of discretionary leave. The law is that you have to complete under normal circumstances, you have to complete 10 years lawful stay in the UK before you can do what? Before you can apply for settlement. So a typical example is maybe someone is called Kofi B. May the Lord Almighty bless his soul. Someone is called Kofi B as an example. Kofi B came to the UK in the year 2000 to visit. When Kofi B came in, for one reason or the other, he was granted 6 months visitor's visa. For one reason or the other, Kofi B could not go back to Ghana following the visit. Kofi B, after the expiry of the 6 months visa, became illegal in the UK in the sense that he has overstayed his visa. Kofi B wandering about the streets of Brixton. Kofi B formed a relationship with Madam C as an example. Through the relationship, a child was born. Madam C is either British or Madam C has got indefinite leave to remain. So as soon as the child is born, at that time, the child is automatically born British on the basis that the mother is settled or the mother is a British citizen. Fair enough. So Kofi B at this stage, the child is born, say, 2013. Kofi B at this stage doesn't have papers. Kofi B has come to see Lawyer Darko, Justice and Law Solicitors. And through the angle and through Article 8 and Appendix FM of the Immigration Rules, Paragraph 276 ADE, Lawyer Darko, as we know what we are doing, we advise Kofi B and Madam C that yes, within the law, there is a provision in which Kofi B can actually obtain leave. So Kofi B has come to see us. We submitted Kofi B's application. The application has been successful on the basis of 2.5 years, but on a 10-year route. So Kofi B has been granted 2.5 years, 2013. The application goes to the Home Office. It takes Home Office 6 months to make a decision. The time has come for Kofi B to extend. He's come to Lawyer Darko again. We put in an application. It has taken another 6 months to make a decision. So we can see that 6 months, in some cases, some people might think That's the 6 months is wasted. No, it is not wasted. It counts towards your 10 years leave. As long as, you submit your application in time. In time means before your existing visa expires. So it is this reason that Lawyer Darko, we always advise people that make sure that every time that it comes to renewal, all the time make sure that your visa is still valid. You have a valid visa. Make sure that your visa do not expire before you put in another application. Make sure that every time that you are going to renew, you have an existing visa. So all that you need to do, like I said from the beginning, make sure that 2 months before your visa expires, you start knocking on Lawyer Darko's door. Regardless, speak to Lawyer Darko if at all possible 3 months before, so that you know the requirement what you need to bring. Exactly 2 months, you start knocking on Lawyer Darko's door. I must submit my application, so that you ensure that your application is submitted even before your visa expires. Not only does it protect your Section 3C leave, but also when it comes to your application for indefinite, there is no shenanigans about you overstaying any of your visas during the last 10 years. So it is for this reason that I keep saying and I keep advising that we must all ensure that we put our visa application in before the expiry of our existing visa, so that when it comes to the 10 years, we don't face any malarkey, any disturbances, and any misunderstanding. Because what will be so painful is where the individual, you go through the 10-year route, maybe along the way, there has been a breach because you did not submitted your application on time. And as a result, what then happens? You will be in breach of the rules within the 10 years. And that is enough for the Home Office to refuse your application for indefinite. If that happens, what would then happen? That if that happens, then you have to continue another 10 years, unbroken 10 years before you get your indefinite. And in fact, the court has made a decision this week, and I'm going to go through it so that we can all learn a valuable lesson from this particular case. And this is Court of Appeal case. This is the decision. It's 35 pages. And you will be shocked. You will be surprised. Sometimes the judges will say that if there is a short breach, it must not be used against the applicant. And other times, some judges will say, no, a breach is a breach, and therefore it must be used against you. Do you want to gamble with your stay? Or you have to do the right thing? We will come into that so that a valuable lesson can all be learned from us. I've seen so many people in this situation. Instead of saving their money to do the application on time, they'll be building houses in Ghana. Meanwhile, their status in the UK is not secured. I will say this again. If you need, like in a can, they say, there is this proverb. Or say, ye ton to me. Ton o mame fane koto. Na se unya to me ni wia. What's the to me na kwa jo mame? A kromo to me, power is the papers. Power is the papers that we have. Without that papers, believe in me, I always say this. Me, if you put £1 million and you put papers there, I will take papers. If you have 10 houses in Ghana and you are living here and you don't have papers, I'd rather take the papers. Why? Because the paper is the power. If you have the paper and you are serious and you want to work and build houses in Ghana, believe in me, as long as you have strength, as long as you have the energy, as long as you have the will, as long as you are able to work, believe in me, at no time, you will do what? You will build those houses. Those who rush and build houses, by the time that you are building your houses, their houses will probably be out of fashion. So for me, it is important that you got the power. Power. The power that be. That is the papers. To be able to stay in this country. Because without papers, people are dying like flies. blood pressure is always on the up. You see an ambulance just going about their business, your heart start tumbling. Your heart start racing because you don't have papers. You are walking down the street, you see the police officer, your heart start, beating fast. Your blood pressure start rising because you don't have papers. So paper save lives. Anyone that tells you, paper is not important, the person a joke. The person is a joker. I'm telling you today. Because I had a dear friend, and this case, it always saddens me. I always advise him that, hey, brethren, make sure that you sort your papers out. Make sure that you sort your papers out. But instead, he was building 2 houses in Ghana. There is nothing wrong with building houses. Because at the end of the day, we still have to go back at some point. Dear brethren was serious in building houses. He was able to achieve that dream of building 2 houses at Tema. He got ill. He got taken to the hospital. They start asking about his immigration status. He got scared. What happened? He left the hospital. He went home. The illness got so serious, they had to take him back to the hospital. When they took him back, it was too late. This brother died. 2 houses that he built. Physically, he never saw those houses. He never stepped a foot in those houses. He died in this country. And he is buried in this country. It was a choice that he made. It is not for me to say it's the right choice or the wrong choice. But if I was left in that situation, I know the choice that I would have made. I would have secured myself in this country to make sure that I live to fight another day. The houses that he built, someone is enjoying it. Someone is enjoying it. And a friend said this that I will never forget. I said, what would know? Rebecca said, but it's a choice that people make. But I always say this. Wherever you are, wherever you live, make sure that your head and your heart is sound. Like they say in Latin, mens sana in corpore sano. A healthy mind is to be in a healthy body. For me, it makes no sense to build this castle, but yet you have a blood pressure as a result of perhaps not having the power to live in this country. It's a lesson that I believe, hope maybe, by saying this, it will help people to make decisions. And also, when they are making decisions, taking certain factors into an account. So, all that I'm saying is this. The 10-year route was introduced in 2012. At first, as we all know, even if you are making an application on the basis of human rights or discretionary leave, you'll be granted 3 years. And after the 3 years, you'll be granted another 3 years. And then after that, you get your indefinite. 2012, Theresa May said, no, we need to change it. So now it's a 10-year route to settlement. I did mention where Home Office guidance policy tell us that within the 10 years, if there has been a short breach, then of course it can be ignored. But a case has gone before the Court of Appeal, and the Court of Appeal say, mind the gap. Mind the gap. So it is important that you mind the gap. Make sure that there is no gap. People have also asked questions as to whether if you spend 5 years with an European national, whether you can use that towards the 10 years. I will explain all this when we come to it. Let's just go to some update in relation to immigration and employment, and then I will come to the same topic of the 10-year route to settlement, because it will take a bit of time to complete it or to speak about it. So please bear with me. People are flooding me with questions, so please bear with us. Hopefully by the time by the time that we finish, you understand. I know that Mr. Watcher from Telford has also sent a message or a question. What do you mean by a gap? I will come to that once I start explaining it. So bear with me. Let's go to money. Let's talk a bit about money first, and then and a bit of an update, and then we will then come to the main topic today. As we all know, please share the program for us. You know, as soon as you tune in, please share the program. If you are in a church group, just do what you can, copy it and paste it in a church group, because by so doing, you'll be saving someone's life. By so doing, you'll be saving someone's thousands of pounds. Because once we get the knowledge and we apply the knowledge, we will not make mistakes that others have made. So please, as soon as you tune in, if you're already watching, share the program until you can share no more. Because wherever you are, share the program, because everyone can watch us across the globe. My name is David Dark. I'm from Justice and Law Solicitors. Let's go. Okay, now let's look at this. Like I said, the government has made announcement because of the COVID. The R rate is 1.1 to 1.3. And the government policy is that if it's above 1, then that means it's serious. And therefore, we have to call for a lockdown. And as we all know in this country, last Thursday, we started our lockdown. I will encourage everyone to observe the government policy and stay home. What the government is saying is this: if you don't have a very good reason to be out and they catch you, you are going to find yourself in trouble. So if you are going to work, fine. The government says that you can go to work if and only if the job that you are doing cannot be done from home. So if you are out and you are going to work and you get stopped by the police and you tell them that you are going to work, I don't think they can do anything to you. So please bear this in mind. But if you are just gallivanting and you are, walking around aimlessly, and you are not going to be doing, going to buy essential needs or going to work, you may not have a defense. So please be watchful and be careful, especially those who do not have papers. If you are just walking around, you are not exercising, you are not going to work, or perhaps you are not going to buy essential needs, you are going to find yourself in trouble. So please be very, very careful, especially the undocumented ones. If you just go out there and you are gallivanting, you're going to find yourself in trouble. So please listen to the voice of reason and do the right thing. The government is telling us it's a reasonable voice and we must listen to it. If not, we're going to find ourselves in a mess. Yes, because of the lockdown, the government now is going to extend the furlough scheme to March 2021. And because of that, some people who are supposed to go back to work in December, their furlough scheme has been extended. Their furlough scheme has been extended. And therefore, they have up to March. And it is hope by the time that we get to March, the R rate would have come down to 0, or perhaps below 0. So we pray that God listen to prayers, that we will all defeat this COVID-19. The government also recognizes that the continuing policy of lockdown also means that businesses are suffering. Businesses will suffer. And as a result, the local authorities, through the government has also made some funds available to local authorities to support, in particular, small businesses. Why is there a need to support small businesses? There is a need to support small businesses in the sense that businesses are not making any money. That is a fact. Small businesses are not making a dime cent. How are they going to survive without the government support? Without the government support, no doubt a lot of businesses would have shut down. including Fire Life Radio. That is a fact. Because the money must come from somewhere to pay the bills. The rent, electricity, and so on and so forth. So without money coming in, who is going to put money in to pay for these bills? It is not possible. And therefore the government, knowing this in advance, decided to support small businesses at least so that they can pay their rent and their bills in order to be able to keep the business going. So back in April, May, June, the government made provisions available for small businesses within the localities in the United Kingdom to apply to their local council for business grant. And most businesses are still operating because of that grant. Without that grant, a lot of small businesses, no shadow of a doubt, would have to close down. Simple as that. And because of that, small businesses, some of them have collapsed, but some of them are still trading because of the grant that was granted to small businesses. Now, the government said we are going to go on a lockdown again. Now we've gone on a lockdown since Thursday. That means small businesses are also likely not to make any money. So since March, most of small businesses have not made even a pound. And therefore, the businesses are struggling. Any entrepreneur cannot have a policy of putting money in a business from elsewhere continuously. No one would do that. And therefore, it comes to a point that either a business remains or a business closes. And therefore, it is important that, business rate and business grants are used for the purposes in which it was granted. So for that reason, the government, in order for businesses to survive, the government has done what? The government is also introducing, or the local authority is also introducing a new grant system. A new grant system whereby they will grant further business rate. They will also grant further business grants to individuals. So the local authorities, this is what they are proposing, and this is what they are going to do. They are waiting for the government to give them the approval before they will start writing to small businesses within their locality. So if you are running a small business, being a Ghanaian local shop, being a barber shop, being a radio station, being whatever type of business that you are running, as long as your name is on a business rate, as long as your name is on a council tax, you will be eligible to apply for this business grant. So what it says is that business premises that are forced to close in England due to the local or national restrictions are to receive grants worth up to £3,000 a month under the local restrictions support grant. So if you are running a business, you need to keep an eye. I expect the local authorities to contact you, direct or indirect, to apply for this grant. So you need to watch out. Because if you do not apply, your business is going to go down. It's as simple as that. Because every business needs money in order to be able to survive. And most businesses are not getting a penny in since March, since we started the lockdown. Business rate, rent hasn't stopped. Whether you are making money or not, you still have to pay your rent. Whether you are making money or not, you still have to pay your electricity. Whether you are making money or not, you still have to pay your water bills. Whether you are making money or not, all the usual bills does not stop. And the government recognizing that has come up with this policy so that the essentials, businesses, in order for them to survive and to keep the economy going, they will be able to apply for this grant to pay those essential bills. So if you are running a business, please do keep an eye. Whenever there is any update, I will come to you. If you are even a church, most churches are struggling. They have also grants for churches. Some time ago, I came up with the link that people should apply. So those churches who have not applied, if it is a registered legal church, then you must apply. If you go to church that is illegal, that is not registered, then you cannot apply. So it is important. Even God said, Jesus said, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. If your church is not registered, I will encourage you to do the right thing, because that is ungodly. If you call your church a church and it's not registered, you are not respecting the law. And it's an underground church, you need to wake up. Those people who attend those churches, you need to wise up. Because at the end of the day, even Jesus said, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. If you are going to go to a church, go to a church that is recognized. Go to a church that is registered. A church that is accountable. So when you pay your tithe and collection, you can ask for accountability either through the charity commission or through the relevant bodies. But if you go to the underground church and you get schemed off and you complain, it's your own fault. All that you need to do, go to Charity Commission's website, put in the name of the church, and it will show whether it is a registered church as a charity or not. That's what I can say. Also, for the properties with a rateable value of 15K or under, they can also get a grant of up to 1,334 per month or 667 per 2 weeks. So small businesses, i.e., if the rateable value is the, what do you call it? They do their own maths, the size and also how much you are supposed to pay for business rates and so on. And they have something called the rateable value. If you get your business rate bill every year in April, you will see the rateable value. And therefore, if your one is less than 15K, then the amount that they will pay per month is 1334. For properties with rateable value of between 15K and 51K, the grant will be £2,000 per month or £1,000 per every 2 weeks. For properties with rateable value of 51K and over, you will get a grant of £3,000 per month or £1,500 per 2 weeks. And also, as we know, the coronavirus job retention scheme has been extended until December, with employees receiving 80% of their current salary for hours that they do not work, up to a maximum of £2,500. So the job retention scheme has been extended up to December. However, the furlough scheme has been extended up to March. So we should watch out for that. The government have also announced that the support for self-employment people will rise to 80% of trading profits during November. Once again, the government is also going to do what? In terms of the self-employment people, the government is also going to look after you, and they are not going to leave you behind. So that means you should be able to also once again go to HMRC website and make further application if you are a self-employment person, in which once again you will get 80% of your trading profits during November. So this month there will be some more information that you can benefit from it. Also, mortgage holidays will also no longer end. As we know, if you don't have a mortgage, maybe it may be difficult for you to understand this. What do you mean by mortgage holiday? I'm going to explain this briefly so that people will get the understanding. So those of us listening, or perhaps you have a parent, a mother, a friend, a church member who is struggling to pay their mortgage. The government has introduced a mortgage holidays in which it was, for 6 months from March up to October. And now it has not ended. It is going to be extended as well. Mortgage holidays simply means you speak to your lender. You give them a call and you tell them that due to COVID, you are unable to pay your mortgage. And as a result, you want to go on a holiday. What did they mean by a holiday? That means you don't pay your mortgage for 6 months. They will give you a break. So I think the best name is probably called mortgage break rather than a mortgage holiday. Because someone may say, how can a mortgage go on holiday? Only humans can go on holiday. So that's how it is, mortgage holiday. That means you can suspend your mortgage for some time. So all that I say is this. It is being extended. So you ring your lender and you say, because of COVID-19, I am unable to pay my mortgage. And for that reason, I would like an extension, please. And they will do their best, talk through you, or talk through the policy with you. And then they will allow you a break for maybe 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, depending on how long this goes on for. So it is important that if you are paying mortgage and you are struggling as a result of COVID-19, do not sit there. You need to get in touch with your lenders and ask for mortgage holiday or mortgage break so that you can also take advantage of the process and also of the system, what is happening here. Okay. So that is it for the employment for you and for the fellow scheme for you. Now, let's go and talk a bit about immigration. I know that this is an area that a lot of people are, looking forward to listening. Let's give you a bit of an update. And then before we go to the main topic today. Strasbourg, removal of asylum seeker despite court order, breach Article 3. This is a case where a Sudanese man in Belgium was removed from Belgium back to Sudan. The case did find itself in the European Court of Human Rights. And the court held unanimously that removing an asylum seeker from Belgium breaches European law. And in that case, unfortunately, even though the guy has been deported, a decision has been made against Belgium. And it's very likely that the Belgian authorities will be forced to bring this person back to the Belgium until his asylum case is heard fully. Second area, EU citizens unlawfully resident in the UK to stay that way during grace period. It's very strange that we say unlawful EU citizens. How come an EU citizen become an unlawful in the United Kingdom whilst they still have, or whilst we are still in the European Union? And it's very strange that you ask people, they are Europeans, they are in the UK, and you ask them, why did they come to the UK? And sometimes the answer that they give you makes them illegal or it makes them unlawful in the UK. Someone is watching me, the person is wondering, what am I talking about? I am talking about the law. And I said that when it comes to law, forget about common sense, forget about logic. Law is law. Forget about morality, forget about religion. We do law, and that's it. What the law says is what must apply. It's as simple as that. Ceteris paribus, all things being equal. So, how can a European national be unlawful in the UK if they have free movement of goods, services, and persons. What we need to realize is that free movement comes with conditions. You cannot say, I am European national and therefore automatically I can come and stay in the UK. That is a fantasy. That is not the law. The law says that if you are European national, you may have the right to come and stay in the UK, provided that you are exercising treaty rights. So in effect, if you come to the UK and you are not exercising treaty rights, then that means you are in the UK unlawfully. So for example, if for example I ask someone, why did you come to the UK? And the person tells me, for example, I came to the UK because I just wanted a change of scene. That in itself is not enough. That in itself is not exercising treaty right. If I ask you why you come to the UK and you tell me I came to UK purposely to have a holiday, that is not treaty right. So when you talk about treaty rights under the law, under European law, it is important, if you're a family member of a European national, if you are European national from today, put this in your mind, because once we come out of European Union from 1st of January, things are going to be different in this country. You can only exercise treaty rights as an European national in the UK, and by so doing, it gives you the right to stay here. So what is it that you need to do that will qualify you as an European national who is entitled to stay in the UK? And by definition, what makes you a qualified person? A qualified person, number one, is that you have come to the UK to work. So you come to the UK as a worker. So you should be coming to the UK to work. That means you are coming to exercise your treaty right. 2, you come to the UK to set up a company, to be self-employed or to work. So you come here to be self-employed. That is exercising treaty right. Thirdly, you come here because you are self-sufficient, i.e., you have your own means to be able to survive in the UK, being self-sufficient. And finally, you come in as a student. But as a student, it comes with another catch. If you are a student, you must have comprehensive sickness insurance. If you are just a student and you don't have sickness insurance, indirectly you are living here illegally. And even there has been cases where people have applied for British citizenship, their applications has been refused because during the time that they were living here as a student, they did not have comprehensive health insurance. So as a student, you must have health insurance. So if you are a EU citizen, what they say is this: you must be exercising treaty right, and I will encourage you. The law is not as bad as it is now, but from 1st of January, which is going to be the transitionary period for European nationals, up to 30th of June, the European nationals Home Office have issued a guidelines and clarification. They can still make an application for settlement scheme or pre-settlement scheme. From 1st of January up to 30th of June, Home Office have made clarification. It was my fear that if we come out of the European Union without a deal, Home Office, whether you are European or not European, they may turn around to say that we don't care. But Home Office have issued a policy which the UK government is now saying that, they will honor the grace period between 1st of January to 30th of June. And this only applies to European nationals, not their family members who are not European nationals. So if you are a Ghanaian or Jamaican or Barbados or Nigerian and so on and so forth, you have up to 31st of December this next month to put your application in, and you got to do it before 31st of December. However, European nationals who have not applied for settlement scheme or pre-settlement scheme, their times have been, UK government say, I will honor it. So up to 30th of June, they could make their application. But for me, do not wait. You might as well do it now, because nobody knows tomorrow. And as we see, things keep changing all the time. And therefore, for me, it makes no sense to take unnecessary risk. If anything, I will say that take necessary risk. It's very, very, very important that we do that. It's very necessary that we do that. What I will also say is this. If you are a holder of residency card, which was issued under European law some time ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, and so on and so forth, I will encourage you to apply for the settlement scheme visa. And even once you have applied for the settlement scheme visa and you do not have a card that matches with your settlement status, I will encourage you to get in touch with Justice and Law solicitors so that we can apply for settlement card for you. The reason being that even though if people scan the card, they will see that you have applied for settlement scheme and you may have been granted settlement status. However, most people don't have the facility to scan their cards, and they will only go by what they see on your card, and they're going to judge you from what they see on your card. So I will encourage all our clients. Some people have already been in touch that we have done the applications for them. We are still in the middle of submitting some applications. If you are a client of Justice and Law solicitors, we want your peace of mind. We don't want you to have any problems at the airport. We don't want you to find yourself in hot waters. For this reason, I will encourage you today. Those people who have already done it, I know that they will have their peace of mind. There is going to be no dispute, no argument. Those who have not yet already done it, I will ask you to get in touch. It does not cost that much. And therefore, for me, having peace of mind is better than not having peace of mind. No amount of money can give you peace of mind. And if you want to know, go and ask Donald Trump. Right now, he'd rather have peace of mind than to have money, because the man is in hot waters. You see? So it is important that I say to you that, do what you need to do so that you have your peace of mind. Mens sana in corpore sano. A healthy mind is to be in a healthy body. So that's what I would say about the Europeans. The European nationals and those people who have applied for settlement scheme and do not have a card for the settlement scheme. And as I said, the 30th of June deadline is not for everyone. It's only for those people holding European passports. So we need to bear that in mind. Let me go through this so that perhaps we will share some more light in terms of the politics with those who are holding settlement scheme and those who are not holding settlement scheme, and also their family members. Let's see what the law is. Those people who have obtained pre-settlement scheme status have until the end of their grant of limited leave to remain to apply for settled status, i.e. those people who have got pre-settlement scheme, they can apply for settlement scheme once they have completed full 5 years, the full 5 years will count from when you were originally granted your residency card as a family member of the European Union. So, for example, if I sit here, Lawyer Darkon, I was granted 5 years visa, say in 2017, and then 2020, I have applied for pre-settlement scheme. As soon as I get 5 years, i.e. 2022, I will qualify to apply for settlement scheme. So that means the combination years that you have spent under European law and also under British law under the settlement scheme policy, you can combine the 5 years to apply for settlement scheme. That is number one. 2, family members coming to join their sponsor in the UK, holding an appendix EU family permit, have 3 months to apply if arriving after 1st of April 2021. So, if your family member is granted pre-settlement scheme or is granted family permit or EUSS family permit to come to the UK, and they come to the UK after 1st of April 2021, they must apply for pre-settlement scheme within 3 months. So you're looking at April, May, June. They must apply before the cutoff point. So it is very, very important. Also, for a qualifying family member who holds leave to remain under another part of the rules or outside of them, they must apply before of that leave, even if this is after 30th of June. So, for example, you are a family member, say you are holding 2.5 years, and you marry European national. What they say is that you must apply before 30th of June 2021. So the next question, therefore, is, what if I am married to European national? Let's listen to this. And I do not submit my application. My husband and I are living in the UK. And I don't have any status at all. In this case, can I still apply after 31st of December? So let's listen to this. A qualifying family member who holds leave to remain under another part of the rules or outside of them, they must apply before the end of that leave, even if this is after 30th of June. If the leave is after 30th of June. So, this gives indication that if you have leave, you will not have a problem. You must apply before 30th of June. What about if you don't have leave? My argument is this. Provided that you are a family member before 31st of December, there is a possibility, because it's not very clear here, there is a possibility that you could still make an application before 30th of June. Because what Home Office policy is saying is this. For a qualifying family member, so if I get married to European national today, that makes me a qualifying family member. If I get married to European national before 31st of December 2020, that will make me a qualifying family member. And what the policy says is this. You must put in your application before 30th of June. However, since the law is not very clear, perhaps I will advise you to side in the side of caution and put in your application before 31st of December. I will write to the Home Office and seek clarification on this point. Because for me, once you get married to a European national, you are a qualifying member, a qualifying family member, and therefore, as you are already a qualifying family member, then the law must still apply to you, and therefore must be extended to the 30th of June 2021. But we wait to see how it is going to be interpreted. So if you are watching me today, I will encourage you to do what? Do the best that you can and put in the application. Also, let's look at this. What about dependency parents? If you are EU national and you have a parent here, or you are married to an EU national and your parent is here, there is a catch in the law in which Justice and Law, we have been successful in making applications for the family members of EU nationals and also their spouses. Home Office says is this: there is a significant change for dependent parents from 1st of July 2021. Such people must provide evidence of their dependency on their sponsor. To provide that, consistent with the agreements, in an application to UUSS made from 1st of July 2021, the dependency of a parent or grandparent on the resident EEA or Swiss national will not be assumed, but will need to be evidence. So if someone is your parent, there is no automatic assumption of dependency, but you need to prove actual dependency by bringing bank statements to show that the EEA national is been transferring monies on a regular basis in order for the parent or the grandparent to meet their essential cost of living. So that is what I will say in regards to European nationals and their family members. I know that the 10-year route, people are eager. People want to know exactly what it is about and what's all this malarkey, what it's about. But before that, let me take a quick commercial break. Our sponsors are calling me David the Advert, David the Advert. So let's take the advert, let's play this commercial break, and then when we come back, we will start with the 10-year rules. And a lot of people are typing questions over to me. At the moment, I'm struggling to talk and read them at the same time. So when we activate the telephone lines, please do the best that you can and let me know what your questions are about, so that I can then answer them for you. I need to drink a bit of water. My throat is dry. My mouth is also dry. I need to drink a bit of water and take this quick commercial break. And then when we come back, we talk about the 10-year route to paradise, 10-year route to settlement, so that we will all not make these mistakes. We will be back. Let's take this commercial break.
And so I am no cry asanti who sang ya ube manisika say wachima. It's in a paradise city. Yeah, this beautiful ultramodern city Abatema Community 25 Whoop standard executive semi-executive quality buildings in paradise city. Yeah, home out. It says you dear butcher abagana team. Your payment terms no so and a phone book call. Open self finance and as a mortgage. Paradise City. Oh, your telephone numbers so UK +447 908 475 802. Paradise City. Ye Jumapa Magana Yefe Ankasa.
For how any say and a woo Justice and Law Solicitor said, Omodiana Brand and your mummy home como, on the mouth a futu, Nasay idea so to one more, on the bow, no to one more. A immigration and as nationality problems. Say a student application, family independent application. So pass it now, Kuma, and now lawyer been wagina one name or court amount, personal injury claims. Say employment, landlord and tenant issue or housing issue, family and divorce issues, drafting legal document, will writing, renting and leasing shop, lease extension. Open a juicy cannot persuade them out. And you near Kawakuma to him now how you know to a trap. But what any Justice and Law Solicitors for N Casa 075-3896-9589 and I say 0207-738-5841. But what Fred Justice and Law Solicitors na ye kwanya ye be faso ye be wow. Obe home Unit 35 Eurolink Business Center 49 Efra Road Brixton SW21BZ. Like I said, we have Victoria Line to Brixton. Bars 2 337 415 432 689 and 690. Seawalk St. Andrew's Church Pastor. Sepa Emra Semodia baby here any Justice and Law Solicitors.
Justice and Law Solicitors.
For how any say and a wooing, Justice and Law Solicitor said, Bomadiana Brand and your medi home come up, on the mouth of futu, Nasay, yes, 2 1 more, on the wow, no 2 1 more. Immigration and answer nationality problems. Say yes, student application, family independent application. So pass it now, Kroma, and now lawyer been waging our name or court amount, personal injury claims. Say employment, landlord and tenant issue or housing issue, family and divorce issues, drafting legal document, will writing, renting and leasing shop, lease extension. Open a juicy cannot persuade them out. And you near Kawakuma to him now how you know to a trap. But what any Justice and Law Solicitors for Nkasa 07538969589 and I say 0207-738-5841. But Modiana Fred Justice and Law Solicitors na ye kwanya ye be faso ye be wow. Obe home ewo Unit 35 Eurolink Business Center 49 Efra Road Brixton SW21BZ. Like I said, we have Victoria Line to Bristol. Bars 2 3 37 415 432 689 and 690. Siwa St. Andrew's Church Pastor. Sepa Emra Samudia baby here any Justice and Law Solicitors. For how any say and a wooing, Justice and Law Solicitor said, Bomadiana Brand and your medi home come up, on the mouth of futu, Nasay, yes, 2 1 more, on the wow, no 2 1 more. Immigration and answer nationality problems. Say yes, student application, family independent application. So pass it now, Kroma, and now lawyer been waging our name or court amount, personal injury claims. Say employment, landlord and tenant issue or housing issue, family and divorce issues, drafting legal document, will writing, renting and leasing shop, lease extension. Open a juicy cannot persuade them.
Fire Live Radio, adjust them. Fire Live Radio, adjust them. Fire Live Radio, adjust them.
Wow, thank you very much for staying up with us, and thank you very much for your support over the years. Today we are going to talk about the 10-year rule, the 10-year rules. Now, yeshema under the 10-year rules, it is covered by paragraph 276B or paragraph 276 of the immigration rules. What it says is that if someone resides in the UK for a continuous period of 10 years, and their stay in the UK is lawful. Lawful means you have not breached the UK immigration rules for a period of 10 years. Then under those circumstances, you can apply for indefinite leave. Someone may be watching me and the person may be wondering as to how someone can stay here for 10 years without breaking the immigration rules. As we know, the immigration law changes over time, all the time. So there was a time, for example, in this country, you can come in as a visitor. And once you come to visit, they will give you 6 months. And once the 6 months is about to be up, you can then vary your leave to become a student. Once you become a student, they would grant you 2 years visa. And maybe the person will become a student and the person will be on a student visa for some time. That is how it is. So through that, the person may be living in the UK for a continuous period of 10 years. But as we all know, life sometimes is not what you want, and it's not what you want, it's what you get. Sometimes you may want something, but you may not get it. So we all know that as students, you go through difficulties, sometimes hardships, and sometimes you count on people that you may assume are qualified immigration advisors or lawyers who may be able to assist you with your applications. There was a time that sometimes some schools will even take your documents and tell you that they will apply for you. You come to the country, you have faith and trust in others. And as a result, you leave them for them to do the right stuff by you. I will also say this before I continue. I'm getting a lot of text messages. Some people are asking questions and they want their questions to be answered now. I cannot do that. The reason is that if I do that, it will mess up the program that I am doing. So please, with all due respect, let's allow the program to flow. And once we have completed the program, if you have any questions, by all means, I'll be happy to address those questions for you. But until then, I cannot stop the program that I'm doing and start asking or start answering those questions. Please bear with us, because what I'm talking about is also very important to some people. So let's follow a bit of protocol so that we are able to make everyone happy. Because I can be sitting here answering your questions, but the topic that I have displayed on the board, I will not be able to treat them. Someone is also wasting his time to listen to this. I will not be fair to that person. So please bear with us. When the time is up, we will activate the telephone lines. When the time is up, you can post your question again. I will be glad to answer those questions for you. Work with us so that we can also work with you. We do appreciate that. So thank you. I hope that, it's clear so that, people will get the drift. It's not that I don't want to answer. Yes, I'll be happy to answer. But if I don't follow the program, then we will be living in a jungle. Things will not work the way it's supposed to work. So please bear with us whilst we are going through the process. Thank you very much. So the 10-year rules basically means that you have to be living in the UK lawfully for 10 years. Another example is maybe you have been given 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years for 10 years. As soon as you finish 10 years, once again, you can also apply for indefinite leave. Provided that the 10-year period, there hasn't been a gap. That is the reason why the topic, I have put it up, mind the gap. You must be living here for lawfully 10 years. So my advice to people has always been this. Make sure that you put in your application before the 10 years is up, before your visa expires. Because there is always the temptation. Sometimes, I don't know why people do it. They don't take their immigration seriously. They do not. Because you have been given 2 years, you know that 2.5 years time, you have to pay immigration application fee. 2.5 years time, you have to pay immigration health surcharge fees. 2.5 years time, you have to pay Lawyer Daku's fees for doing your application for you. But yet, people decide not to save money. People decide not to prepare towards it. People decide not to care about it. And then, all of a sudden, before they realize the 2.5 years is up, the same person will tell you that they don't have money. But the same person have money to buy poultry farm in Ghana. The same person have money to buy land in Ghana. The same person have money to pay, things in Ghana. But yet, the very thing that secure them, the very thing that gives them peace of mind, they don't bother to save money towards that. It baffles me all the time. And then when the time is up and they are unable to get money to pay, they start blaming others. That I'm in trouble, this person is not helping me. I'm in trouble, that person is not giving me a loan. Look, this is Babylon. Babylon, everyone has got their own problem. Everyone is hustling. Everyone is a hustler. Everyone is struggling. Your problem is nobody's problem. It's as simple as that. That is the reality that we live in. Babylon, your problem is nobody's business. My problem is nobody's business. This is a country that if someone spent even 2 minutes of his time on you, you thank your Lord and you praise your God. Believe in me. Because hardly would anyone even use a minute of their time on you. At the end of the day, everyone is chasing the American dream in Europe. Everyone is chasing the American dream in America. And the American dream is, is pushed by the need to achieve economic means, to achieve economic stuff. So it is important that we do what? That we sort of take control of ourselves and our destiny. Because if you don't, the time will come, you will not have money to pay for the home office fees. You will not have money to pay for immigration health surcharge fees. You will not have money to pay for lawyer darkness fees. And if that happens, what then happens? You will not be able to put your application in. So let me give you an example. So you have been given 2.5 years in 2012. And 2015, you apply for an extension before your visa expired. 2017, 18, you have applied for another extension, in-time application. When I say in-time, that means you have put the application in before your visa has expired. And you have put in another application before your visa has expired. That means after you have completed 10 years lawful stay, automatically you can apply for your indefinite leave under paragraph 276 of the immigration rules. Paragraph 276, what it says is that you must be lawful resident in the UK. So if for any reason during the 10 years you could not raise the money to pay for your legal fees, you could not raise the money to pay for your application fees, and even there has been a gap in your lawful resident. When we say a gap, Mr. Boache, it means, for example, you have been granted 2.5 years visa from 1st of September 2012, 2.5 years. So 2012, that will take you to perhaps 6 months, September, so that will take you somewhere in March 2015. You decided, or for economic reasons, you were unable to put in your application before the expiry of your visa in March 2015. So instead, you put your application in April 2015. That means between March and April, from the time that your visa expired and the time that you made further application, there has been a gap. And that gap is what I'm telling you, mind that gap. Because when 10 years come and you are trying to apply for 10 years lawful stay, under the rules, your application may be refused on the basis that between March 2012 and April 2015, March 2015 and April 2015, there has been a gap. Because when your visa expired in March, you did not put in an application before the expiry of your visa. And therefore, that gap has become a dent in your lawful residence in the UK. And under the 10 years rules, that application must be refused. The same thing applies when you are going to apply for naturalization. The 10-year route for indefinite, the same rules will also apply under when you are going to apply for your naturalization. How would this work? This will work because under naturalization, it comes under character test. The character test means if for the past 10 years, prior to the date of the application for naturalization, if you have remained in the UK unlawfully, or you have breached the immigration rules within the last 10 years, your application ought to be refused. So the same principles apply. So it is for this reason that I'm telling you today, that I'm saying you today, do not allow any gap to manifest in your 10-year lawful stay. Because if it does, you have to plug the gap. So for example, if the gap was between 2015, March 2015 to April 2015, that means you will start again from April 2015 to April 2025, because that gap, that hole must be sealed. Because without sealing that hole, if you make an application for indefinite under the 10-year rules, paragraph 276, you will be refused. There was a time that the Home Office have a discretion where they will say that, you know, if the gap is a short gap, they may overlook it. But the Court of Appeal this week has made it very clear. If Home Office refuse you, they are entitled to refuse you. So brothers and sisters, do not think about money, especially when it comes to applications such as this. Sometimes people put economic consideration first before legal implications. As I speak to you, I am in a big dilemma. I have a client. I've been fighting a case over these years, and it's by the glory of God that this woman still have stay in this country. It came to a point that people thought that she will not get a stay. But God loves her. God loves her so much because we were able to fight the case and fight the case for her to get an extension of a visa. And as I speak to you, she will be 10 years in April 2021. But the existing visa that she's got is expiring in March 2021. You see, economically, one may think since 10 years will be up in April, why don't you gamble and make an application for the 10 years in March, with the hope that when the time comes in April, the caseworker will grant indefinite. It's a gamble that may pay off, but it may not pay off. Why am I saying this? Because a caseworker could pick up the file in March as soon as you submit the application. The caseworker pick up the file in March and make a decision in March. What would that mean? That will mean that we are not yet in April, and therefore the woman may not have done what? May not have completed 10 years lawful stay. So if you are making an application on the basis of 10 years lawful stay for indefinite leave, and the decision is made in March, that means you have not completed the 10 years, and therefore the application can be refused. When you are making application for indefinite leave to remain, you are paying over £2,000. At the moment, it's about 2,300 and something pounds. That money will simply just go. And if you're not lucky, the application will be refused totally. And then you have to go to court and start fighting. And the judge will say that yes, they were right to refuse the application because by the time that you make the application, you have not completed 10 years lawful stay in the UK. So for me, this is where you have to apply law. Don't think you are too clever. I always say this. There is no fool on this earth. Obia and obia. There is no fool on this earth. Whilst you may think you are clever, another person may also think that they are clever. And therefore, you take that gamble, it's not going to work for you. And the price to pay is just too severe. So for me, I have decided, even though this woman has got only 1 month in between to get indefinite, I'd rather play the long-term game, play safe. And therefore, we are going to apply for another 2.5 years, which is the right application to make. Because every time that we submitted an application, it took a bit of time for them to make a decision. So if you look at it, in fact, the times that it has taken for them to make the 4 decisions, that means they have spent about 2 years. They spent about 2 years, 4 months in making the decisions, the time that they have used to consider making the decisions for the past 10 years. So it is for that reason that there is only 1 month short from her achieving the indefinite leave to remain on a 10-year route. So in that regard, what it means is that we still have to make application for her in February. I will not wait for the March to come because the visa is expiring in March. So to be safe, I'm going to apply for another 2.5 years in February, which may be granted before April or maybe after April. As soon as we get the 2.5 years, she qualifies to apply for indefinite leave on the basis of 10 years. So it is very important that I secure her interest. And securing her interest means making sure that I don't gamble with her status, with her stay. Some people will say that the lawyer maybe is an idiot. He's wasting your money. I would rather be idiot, save you your money, and give you peace of mind, rather than to be clever and put you in Donald Trump terms as whole. I will not do that. Like I say, mens sana in corpore sano. A healthy mind is to be in a healthy body. At the end of the day, money is just paper. Economics means nothing. They need to respect law, tradition, and customs. Overcome everything. So for me, the whole idea is to try and manipulate the system. You will end up manipulating yourself, because the price to pay for a wrong move is not worth your peace of mind that you can get on this earth. At the end of the day, after all, what is money? Respect, wisdom will never be too much. So it is important that we always show respect to the law. We should never try to be too smart and to be too clever, because all those people, and history teaches us, people who have always tried to be smart, to outsmart the system, always find themselves in a mess. If anything else, look at what is happening in America. One of the privileged positions to have, one of the great positions to have, powerful position to be, but yet vulnerable. So it is important that when we get into positions, that when we have advantage of doing things, we do it the right way. Forget about the need to save money. Because bantima for ne kind, wasi obi asika eshe obi botom. Na enye sika nyina so na yedi. Sebio abrewa. Oni hwe kra no o abatwe. Sa obetena ho ama asma ba beto dia eni na eni wa. Afutu owi ensakra nipa obi wo ho agise nsohwe. Na akra o se na ni nso ade no. Ada obeto of course na ni nso ade no. Ada obefra entmapa edi akwa yi ase no ohia sasabonsam na yepa yehunu nti ana yechechire boa na panyini susu enu fi a be ma wodue lawyer dako enu nti na edi nsempa di abremu yeda masipi ese eneso mase madaje na modi atie ye mo questions ampese mu busa nyina no. This is the time e was wo free. And I said, this is the time I say post a question. Na yetimi answer ma na ayefe. Say ye program no na wo bombardie with questions yetimi entwa program ne so. E me answer question no and ya sa beto aso. Esa na e ma the flow of the program no e mess it up. Enti e be sleepy. Aya yenye de ye mo ye homodin na ye follow protocol no. Aya na e boy ye nyina. Because say the mpanimfo kan ye no. Our bonny ne chiame ene kasa tenten na panyini so edware wia na efie enso asa sa ukọ edware ye na se oho afọ a aye busa wokra lada ko ye de abo mo ye de abo mo enti ye bia amatrofo na tum number dididwa eye 07538 969 589 ubetimi afre ma mo send a text ene mo amodi aggression ebe nyina no nyanto boase why this is the time esa mo frɛ why yesemu pi yenye dwumadie ne na nyefe na aggression abide ba na no odin le ada kontesu kokko minim to pa na agya empanifo wo fie ntia na odibu ama obia oya akra wo panyino na dibu ama no sana etie enti mesemu pi ma mo send very nasty messages no munyai enye sa nyame obetua moka ati munyai nyame do bebia na otua woka oye papa otua aka oye boni a otua aka so we are genuine na person bisa the right questions we are happy to answer that for you. Na so ba be you rude akire me a yakopon fa bo ne nchew na ontua woka de mitimi aka no no enti no so pese wo fra wo so ubetimi afre number didi djuma no 07538 969 589 Obi Ebusa say, is the 10-year rule? Let me bring this up. Okay. Obi Ebusa, or say the 10-year rule, no? Does it apply to EU nationals as well? 10-year rule, no, it be depend the EU national no the status. Any kwankra ofa so enya the status no. Now I hope say question or the bar very short, but hopefully it will answer the question. Say we EU national, na say uti krumwa, and I say we family member, na uti krumwa no. Yes, 10-year rule no, it can only apply if you are going to apply for naturalization, and I say British citizenship. Now, no, the Emrani can say, so apply for British citizenship. As over 10 years lawful residence in the UK. And for example, Ebia Ube Krumwa, now we need lawful residence. Ebia Ube Krumwa, now we need Krata, Eche Nabishi EU national now wareno. And I say Eche Nama Miba Hana Wiginan son our DJ. And to the fact is say from 2010 up to 2020, during that period, you know, now what you are unlawfully, no, say British nationality, it be refused. What the law says, they say you must have 10 years lawful residency in the UK when you are applying for naturalization. And therefore, no, so now what you are unlawfully from 2010 until maybe 2014. And year 5 years in 2014. Then 2024, and I'll be qualified to apply for British citizenship. And I was say you need to I hope say that answers your question. Okay, Obi afraid yemfano na yinti don so or the air brain. Hello, good morning, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Lawyer.
Nampacho din de say na kase free.
From me, Brother K.
Brother K. Okay, Brother K, yanko. Na enewi again e bitia yama.
That person be say pre-settlement adino and maybe will be na need any paper. And this year now work as on your card no be ending.
I catch any say unfair justice and law. Now you bet me abuana amanenya card ni bi. The SM mechanic say so kita paper na and say she is is still valid. Say obi scan no card na pre-settlement status na ye dey man paper so no. Eno na e be show. And on top of that, the person can access it on the internet. So on Home Office website obetimi access the pre-settlement scheme status no. But obi ohonma ebia making or corner shop ebia kwa pejuma oni facility oni timer or the internet so kwa check is anema no. Enti sadi pa no obeka se gawuta ganama ono beso hu ade no gani fili. Enti no because of that no ana me advising crofo say senka ebeya brebre mama ne ama gawuta ganama also a pre-settlement and one card ni na eso atwa ne nkofa argument bi ama. Enti the bad is there is an application you meet me ayama no no you bebre ne card ya so pre-settlement card ne picture bosso ne details ni bibia wo so said ya ukọ the man on the corner shop wa enya afi ne kwakọ ye chi ni die o status ne sen ane kita me no obi ka na sem akoma danfo goalkeeper o se me hu ani na chese eso atwa wo ho a. And on getting in touch with justice and law solicitors, you bet me apply amano sa kama na sumajo. Why?
Okay, because I will be more yeah, but who can be an or Ghana Nabia or Bana via airport into the Mississippi. And
also so as fofro and also so no parliament akasasimui from 1st of January. Immigration for no my ward pa. And yes, my ward, Chesi akroma your ward. Uye Europe ni na bekrumwa. E kwane sujumom di dinkrofo no areo. Sisi are making Ghana for a good detention. Me catch the wabi Ghana. He true. Eja eda we sisi ano enye easy. Enti amama ye busy pa. Enko for fremia omu nyame ni bi edwa. But omu nti ase because e wonu ye bi eda se ejanima. Ono ye priority o. Se one prioritize ono a. 3 days yes ade na eko. So wonti ama sisi no maso an ye hye pressure de e bi da me so pa. But ni nyina eye. Enti no beya say beya on getting in touch. Now apply for pre-settlement card. Ubedru hitra ade ni enya afi ne kwakobusebusa question ama wa no akwakwo so na akwakofa ehaw abrel. Enti de metimi aka no hono no. Yes, yeah, that was because of the lockdown, mempese enam mesunti na obi free ni fi aba na police akwa akogina no o ko hen fa me kolo ya da ko ho yes enye part of the exemptions into achew na akofa asema bre no na embom wo de nipa ne ntena ne fie on free office officer there are ways and means you bet me edi application na mano without him leaving his house. Because I need to protect them and I need to make sure that people are safe. Me me this sketchy and for being koto asemu and the tofia kwa.
Okay, lawyer.
Why in Tofre office between 9:30 and 5:30 you will means I bet me afaso edi ye bibia man kama because any technology development and any nyina na ese nipa no ese adageba office on say me take a risk of coronavirus oh by crack of trotro ayi trotro bi na de ba na so bi ekobo wegu so a waku. And you know, we are trying to minimize the risk. And by all means, we have ways and means. I bet me I application in Amano without the person coming to the office.
Okay, you actually that Monday, get in touch with you.
Yes, yeah, that was it. Me brake. Okay, now for Frank, so text it. Okay, yeah, text now. With the 10-year and 5-year routes. Do you need life in the UK test before applying for indefinite leave to remain? Indefinite leave to remain, yes. Say if the visa was granted under British immigration law, then you need the life in the UK test and the English test, unless you are exempted. But say nipa no aye true European angle there. Ebi nipa a family member of European national, and no there you don't need the life in the UK test and the English test. You only need it when you are going to apply for British citizenship. Enti sana eno etie. Hello.
Hello, Mayor.
Mr. Overhampton.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon to you, necessary.
I'm here doing a fashion show.
Me ho ye pa, me gina so say aboa popi.
Me ask so mo ho de. That's so na ja on church da bia ja itie ne di bia boy bra na. Inu anu ma kakra bit me moment me anya ho no so no. Ahye bia mo me akabia twa na mo di bra na so.
Sir.
Na me say ye free book appointment ma this way ya no de. You know, I'm saying, you're say, yeah, when I'm here, you're all bachelor. I'm here, but I'm saying, the idea, you are the Monday, yes, Monday.
Aye, there's always ways and means. And you know, me show you my friend. Why? No problem at all. Hey, me refi crowd. Book you next time come do my last week. Little leaders asa me de ma obi enti no menim se membusa question why be twane the amount and now say you and answer say you I don't know, we have to give it to someone. Johnny Kalu. Okay, that's it. Okay. Mami Vicky Aqua, honestly, Busa, can you come and live in the UK and then apply for settlement scheme in the UK if you hold a long-term residence card from an EU country but not EU citizen? Okay. Question Busa now, if I get it right, there all can I say indefinite in another European Union country. Ana Busa say ubetini ababetina UK. Aye EU settlement scheme now. The mechanic say EU settlement scheme no. It is there for European nationals. In this case, from what you have written, a tresa unye European national, name who are indefinite to live in another EU country. You can only apply for EU settlement scheme. Either say you are European national, and I say you are a family member of an European national who is living in the UK exercising treaty right. Treaty right in your account once or yeah, Juma, or self-employed, or a student, and I said we're a self-sufficient person. If that is the case, then of course you can apply. However, so kita limited leave in an European country, to say if you say Italy, and kita sejono no a limited leave and yet indefinite leave. That does not give you the right to stay in the UK. Unless say nipa na ejina ne so ayede ma wo sa sejono no. Say nipa no so at UK or a SIC treaty right. Either say the person is your mom, your father, or a family member. If that is the case, then there are requirements so meeting. ubetimi aye application for pre-settlement scheme. I hope say I have answered your question. If not, you can call the line, which is 07538 969 so that I can get the proper information to be able to answer your question properly for you. Mr. Boache, what about Bedru Yanko?
Lawyer question the can't test yeah, name said Profono. Yeah, I think but your friends were not to me a boy.
Sir.
Your friends in my program on the
a mania coso. Now, with the menstrual before so Becasano. I may say Brofono and Crofobibra can once him. But as a businessman, I am in a dilemma. The reason is say, Samibana Mikaki Nguana, I limit my audience to only three speakers. There are people in Ghana, almost in country, almost also say there be Oba Camprofo. And I have other clients as well. They are not Ghanaians. I have Gambians, Jamaicans, Americans, English, and therefore some country. I'm so until the American. I'm so a disturb me. After do be say me be 2 hours. My English 2 hours. I don't have the time. It's not possible. And you know I am in dilemma. Now I'm hoping say a jayabro for kakra kekano. Say also friend country ya. E ma me country it's me boy nuanumbi. Enti momo aye ni enti me mboa mo.
Now, me can say some years back, no nanka will come for na positive so age so and so and so wow.
And also so because of the coronavirus, no. Say me ye free mini studio so enti no ama ya ye limited kakra. Enti phone na me use to say e one phone pe. Sanke ye studio anka people to me call at different times it me meji mu nyina. Na ni nyina no sebio e ye ahweyie because le ada committee se mikonya coronavirus yibia enkrofo a mede be saa wo no enye easy because office wo enipa ma wo ede kra no you are looking at between 10 to 20 enti se mikonya bia wo de emfa ne say enipa 10 bana se mede enipa 5 reproduction rate actually say enipa 5 no obi ade be enipa 3 na enipa 3 no obi aso de enipa 3 na multiply ko saa enti you can imagine Ghana for ede be ye wo e bia miminti na obi akwa ko wuo. And also said the Tofia kwa. And I'm being a bit very careful. And I'm Miami schoolmate, America, or your nest in May, woo October ya. And to be the catch of the coronavirus is a joker. When you're chrono, maybe I just say the bleach because I don't understand why people should joke of this. Minimum be I walk fan off as yaba. No fast babu for coronavirus. Babu what on is so cromwa. Anti coronavirus are dear, it is a diagro. Donald Trump is a host, and a be no. And I say, yes, I tuna dear so. So, Boris Johnson, a biano. Prince William, a biano. Sebio, omumpoa. They are privileged in some way, no. Omokrayo, Moshedia to womo. Not it is an ordinary person, they say, me no. The chances of survival. And you know, you're very, very careful. Now, you're taking all precautions that we can. It's not perfect, but at least we are able to communicate with you and bring you the good news. And you know, coronavirus, it's me con Canada. We will go to the studio and study Osika, you know. Then we will go back to the way we used to do it. Said the Beboa Yina. It's your more than Brofono, your family, and Hosan and Kakranka crying. Ye be and Tia watch it, Yanko, Minchawano.
Yeah, let me be say the note a church me Nami Kusa Wasamaka. And he said 10 years and 5 years route to no fancy be almost the Britain for the Nana a application. Say or could indefinite now after 10 years and as a 5 years route to no could indefinite now. Say no naturalization and yet a British passport or budget. But yes, or Kojafe or Kojafe Bonami Busa says, Sanko from Kojafe Bono. On the British route, 10 years and now 5 years route. We here life in the UK test and any English and question about Modidican. Okay. Here and here.
Omo here because okay rules now, rules for indefinite now. Or say either say the person have completed 5 years under the rules. The person must be of a good character. The person must pass the life in the UK test. The person must meet the English test. Now, English test no, a level B1 for indefinite and British citizenship, which is equivalent to A-level English. And a life in the UK test no, you need to demonstrate. Say, ope say, ye jiw tum say, oba betine fie mo ekromo afebodi ya, ese uhu kromu abakosem ese uhu ekromu amra anu ntina ye omo ade abeshem since 2012 no enti the answer is yes.
Okay, yes, the gentleman saying books are for us. Young fan said, the 5 years route to Nassau and the 10 years in Nassau. And so, as soon you know, life in the UK test, when Timmy pass English, when Timmy pass it, you say, no, a debut of a because there's so called indefinite, but when Timmy pass it in your requirements, I didn't I say, or send a baby in every just.
Or bet me an extension. Enti all your application na yebusa will say, why are you making this application? And they will give you options, 5 options. The first one, they say, you are making the application because you are seeking an extension, which you will choose in order to pass the life in the UK test and the English test. And that provision, that option is there. But what am I saying? Aha. I'll bet me akasa.
Na no yemfa nsa omo indefinite de no ebo ne yesai e na yemfa nsa sisi no se wonni sika no free waiver no itimi so qualify no utimi apply free waiver no for indefinite de no e was application na
indefinite ne de yemfa free waiver asem nko hodo mo eno de meka me pain na maternita hwe Ghana for sorry be say bi wa meka sa asem we yenye very careful when it comes to papers ye didi agro bebre no beka choso ni ska enso no diska ebo life uko Facebook or to designer akese edu application fee also ni ska designer ni application fee de na hu hia ama for ye mistakes no afi o commerce apa ni na na bruwa eti ba bi dwene ne ho a o se on na eba yi hwe ewiase ba yi ni ba bi a o abrabo ene de wawabo ana de wapo bra ene de wawu ama ne ba sie no aya ye de niamedi agro ye de niamedi agro too much because a case beat me ba manim na me kra me buofu me am ye lawyer me buofu ni pa ne say what do you mean oye adwuma oji about £1,600 uba betua immigration fee aso niska enso o to enuro eni enkokọ eyen no Ghana o ye poultry farm Ghana application a wo ye e de nya wo security e wo kromu ano uso niska na o commerce apa o si abro bi o tini ba bi no wakoji beyi no de ye so wa mo bra wo se enewu ye ebusu anhweme ewiase eniwa ma wani mre ne bo brapa ne push na ye the right thing by you. Most of the time people make wrong decisions. Our priorities are not right. We prioritize on what is not necessary. And the time be an abrabono yenko yenim yegina fa akon afeni a ye frustrated na ye probidi nsema kototo ne so na ye probidi asema hye no enti a very important point na mbeki ye no aya yenye serious se minim say me indefinite time ebe so 2.5 years time a adenti na ese me twen ema 2.5 years ni duro and say na mahwehwe ska no you start looking for the money from the very day unim say time ne beba no because emre de ye ni na yakaso utwu mu time ebeba enti beginning na no ahya ase say be £10 a wo dey for £5 to every week e bedru hono mo no na wa ye de wa make progress na wo ka wasem pa akire obi ahu mbobo na wo wada ne mesisi maso onte hwe cha samole na time ne beso we need am so obi mu a ma de beboa osoro eboa do oboa ne ho enti no me de paso bisa sa question we say o ko pay indefinite fee waiver you free wadwenem ebi ni ho ne ebi ni we kira never. It will never happen. Enti no yento yadwene mo sa ne ma ne ho. Se u kwa pay extension, na se u pe fee waiver dia, maybe they may consider you. Na eno kra no, ye nuanum bi na o ska ehya another account. Oba lawyer ho a, o se my account we ani. O di be ko home office oba kwa credit check, and say credit score. Obo so baba back say, "O account bi hye baabi." Afi ni pa ne se o nam nim so mbe hu o. Hwe ekromu a. Aya na yete se mnofo agimi. Sa Boni Jimmy, or no Belkuma Baby Sissy, Ajo Nema, and the Baby Sissy in Cromu, ye. Nine water was on Wedgimi. Massa, young train sign, Sassam no crowd, Metis will be can be a Anna with a prayer mobile. Shut, Brony, Aquasi Brony. Massa, Brony Jimmy, Marty, and maybe Omua, Annie on your mostly. No more put to blind eye. Now Brony or Opeso Yawa, or Berton Manama was a fedi agro. Udi dia gross na wa de ahye wo kon afi na wa wo chiro I want to say no futiri more dio. And your mutimu na dio, they believe in principles. Oh yeah, dio be show din. Na so nyawa. E kroma yempacho. Unse kroma yempacho. Uko diboni na police chewa. Anobeka say I know people from above. You will go to hell. I'm on trim with that. Donald Trump, I'm on a warning. As I say, Lucina went through, they were escorting from White House. As a Ghana can Casey. And you know, it's the system works. And you know, unfortunately, when it comes to indefinite, I forget it. So be the bias and I do more a year foot to amount. Start saving your money when the time comes. Do the application and pay for it, because it's never going to happen. You pay it, and that is it. And at the other side, Nekrani say, question Abusai, a very good question. Say, Otamano, Tabanaso, that's the pass life in the UK, now pass English test. Now still, okay, application for indefinite. Unim do ombeyo. Ombe refuse indefinite, you know. Oya luckier, case work can be good, no a grant to extension, but o balance, you know, unyane back. Unless I force so, I must say, immigration health surcharge fees on top of it. And this is how it works. Ebi our time so, mean pass also koye application for indefinite, uni life in the UK test, uni English test. And bibini, usu ni nyansa se broni. And what you £2,300. As a more indefinite. Also nim say, also the life in the UK test, any English test come. Fair enough. What they kwa, unim do mbeka achiro. Ombeka say you must pass the life in the UK test and the English test. Submit the certificates within the next 14 days. Now there are yana say no make you passport and no biometric residency permit card. Oh, kwa test is so you need a passport and the card to do the test. And also so na kwa home office one more. Almost kwa test no. And therefore now man how they show come. And to go say ultimate kwa test no because you need passport no. And what then happens? In the end, you know, won't mean providing evidence, you know. Now, Oma Catro say any application, you know, for natural for indefinite, you know, you refuse you. The mom, you grant you 2.5 years. Fakoye test, you know, never brebium, never a new application. Oh, yeah, indefinite, charge you about 2,300. Oh, your application for extension at 1,052.20 plus immigration health surcharge fees, Saturday £1,000. He say 1,540. Ombeka Sakatro say. Since I won't qualify for indefinite because only life in the UK test and the English test, you know, they will consider you for an extension, but they will only grant the extension if you pay the NHS fees. And you could try NHS fees now on top of the 2,300 now. Not just say over £3,000. If you are somehow extension, uko ye and send us out 2,300 to do another application. Case we continue more then obey refuse say you don't qualify. A bonus either say obey a fresh application. In that case, you know, you refuse to anytime you obey a fresh application, you know, there has been a gap. Into 10 years, you know, after you unqualified beam, say 5 years or so unqualified beam, obesa starting BBA beam. So we are lucky, now lawyer is smarter. Obeka say appeal against the decision, and within that time, you know, before they appeal, never fair case, you know, for hearing, you know. If you are lucky and you are able to do the English test and the life in the UK test, now, by the time I be due court for hearing, you know, now ukita sadi, you know. And under the rules, you know, the law says, if at the date of the hearing, you are able to meet the requirements, now, and was say appeal, no, is successful. And to your good immigration judge, obey decision in your favor. Now, I feel was someone from that angle. And that is how it is.
Yeah, papa.
Yeah, that was it. Mr. Watch a book with the bro. Why? Me would have for man on TSA, bro. Why are they? O question ever one crow for pa. Now we saw all the man crown a little leaders. A booker, it encourages black people. Because many a times you look on the radio, you look on the anything is negative. But this generation, we need to inspire them. And on behalf of Justice and Law, and also Fair Life Radio, and for your contribution over the years, I think it's important that we also recognize you and appreciate you. So for that reason, we will bring you this book. Nyami Inshapa. Yes, that was it. Yachia, Telford Funyina. Okay. Okay, no problem. Send address to mommy. Why? Okay, that's it. man for the questions be braba yen hwe bi ne ready na man for so frɛ pa obetimi afra so betimi afra number no eye mame emfa entudwa ataka kra ba bi a obi aye chiachia yemfa number no entudwa na man for so entimi mfrɛ man for begu so pa unfortunately phone no like me kan no eye ba ko pɛ enti oso obetimi idea afra na che se yetimi ansa o question bi a obi a ye nuanu bi efrɛ na your phone so enti answer number no once again number no 07538969589 Mr. Okay yemfa papai hello
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Let us say any body na man phone
but your phone
was a chow na any area dey bit me ayama.
Yeah, but that's it. 10 years we don't say now we are life in the UK testing. Before then coming qualify for 10 years advance indefinite and I say abano. Meeting my life in the UK test not for since the next time.
Okay, it's a very good question. And for me, it makes sense as a obey life in the UK test not all. Because life in the UK test a year for life in Gem. And the good thing is once a time no more adding more stuff to the test until now a year more. So until now you have less to learn than say obey it tomorrow. Until it makes sense to do it and put it there. English test and yet life in the UK test and a get tricky. Until yes, it makes sense to do it and put it down.
That's fine because I don't know because of the main chance of Guyana case workers no the money the loss no the bit because so pass for sort of pass to more and then will be Africa no more to the Katakoya and from there now the you have no idea what me I prefer to do it with them never to work. Do times to make up with indefinite nana to be principal citizenship. My present is my end of that. And yes, so it makes sense. Makes sense. But me last time I can say I don't see how say maybe a testimony say will be friend say when you have remember transfer say na me nyanya nkrata afa na me pese me ya me krata me immigration fee ne me say charge ne lawyer fee me ba kotua no ade na yesa me de koto asa na wo Ghana because I say me dey me nya assist na wa me nya assist na wa dia adwuma me ne de ma be transfer invest
yeah eye bibia odwene ho awonte ase amanfa begu so pa anti no oba mpacho ma me 1 minute na me answer the question and I yenkoye ni why ayadea ha adwene personally I don't understand why people make that decision because sebio untimi ntu a na wokọ hefa so mo o ataban na untimi mfa ntu a eso ni mfa so entimi fi se baby a wono secure yourself first and move forward. Me feel say enumum na ebeboa ye nyina. Enti no said your brother esika ye no very important. Atakakra atexia ba or say I got my EU settlement scheme. I got my settlement through my EU husband. When I'm applying for indefinite leave to remain, am I exempted from UK test? Yes, so who apply for indefinite leave to remain? That's why EU national there you are exempted. You don't need to do the test. Nembum say o kwa apply for British citizenship there and no there e was say o apply enti sana etie enti no am say metimi answer o question no amount yenua bako about 086 mpacho betimi akasa.
Good afternoon lawyer me mpacho ye fami Boachi me St. Albans
Boachi St. Albans akwaba eja Boachi
yeah lawyer me mpacho sisi menya 20 years 9 months na metimi me wo enkola me no awomo efi krumar metumi asochi me 5 years no into indefinite na se me san ko renew me 2.5 for the PM
okay into a 5-year route me boa
10
or 10-year route
minye free enkola no
o si enti nkrane na ODJ 2.5 years no
me pa chwa
enti afi na oba be wie first 2.5 years and say we twa bi
me third time na me be koi
o third time na ba be koi personally it will not make any economic sense to switch because o switch krana and also so no just we 5 years and send when you indefinite enti now say o 10-year route when you can try 5 years a year you still have 5 years to go. But you're making what you say. Economically, no, it will not save you time. Financially, no, it will not save you any money. Because the other one, you know, is still the 5 years. Is a weaker. Because I was switching a 5-year router. The wash year guno, the worker no, yen fan to us. I saw starting 5-year router fresh. In fact, was what I say. And you know, say oh switching now 5 years no is starting from today. And you know, from today, you know, just a 2025. And he said 10-year route where you can 5 years. Still no, you are going to finish 2025. And you may change the route, you know, but the same end. Tina Yavzani can do kadaya. You know, Nina, I could see the same, you know, so the same adequate. And you know, it make no sense. Economically, financially, legally, common sensely, everythingly. It does not change anything. It make us say, this was why?
Me pacho, me side question be me say, me ye life in the UK test, you know, back 2000 and me name say me name so be kaya me ne Rebbe Bar office some years ago na me na back when ya me to me as some sakoye for set time so they said the colleague be bisa wono and I say and washegu
life in the UK test no for life in twem enti the one no keep it safe. Set time listen akwakoye indefinite do be ya ni English test level B1 now they account old life in the UK test certificate so that's it.
Me patch my last question is here me say me ko renew me now me one dependent me send say me tia 2.5 no
patch second question ni be manti honi
me 2.5 no say me ko renew say ya send say me tia me one dependent say me the account.
Okay and on the mechanic say dependent child you know if it is not
penny.
Oh, okay. And therefore, this is what you need to do. I mean, Ubetia home office fees, you know, 1,052.20. Immigration health surcharge, you know, October ya no mutu. Say saying £1,540 for 2.5 years visa. And to Ukaboma, and I will leave you for you to do the maths. And you know, 1,500 and £1,000. You're looking at about 1,000. Your fan says about 2,600 per each applicant. Per each applicant.
Per each applicant.
That's right. And 20 million. Yes, 20 million 5,200.
5,200.
That should be your budget plus the lawyer's fee. Meaning the lawyer will charge you.
That's a lawyer.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Immigration health surcharge.
Hello, Patrol do radio na my wine. Patrol did the send akase free.
Oh, no, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon to you. Now, what to say?
Gamiado. Because of Scotland anyway. Me Patrol, to say the caller we should see any Busai, no. And Mr. So, okay, I'm married this kind of 2.5 years, but maybe. Me reading like twice, so which is making like 7.5 years. Now, to see, and also, me conquer your last one, but me say instead of say, Nekako reading for the last one, is it advisable say me to me apply for permanency because already my track me over 16 years, you
know. Men try. Why in Pacho? Men yes some mistake in it that. And for yes some mistakes win. There is always the temptation, but the rule they say. Just a wait at 10 years lawful stay. Now when you're 10 years. And when you're indefinite, to mess your P, forget about the money. As we G and here. A drew wow, your extension. Ta when you 10 years new year. You don't have to wait for the visa to expire. The very day I wake at 10 years lawful stay now do application at home. No when you're indefinite. Now when you're soon G. And you're very, very, very important. May client be example. The 10 years no. Ebesu April next year ne visa no March. The temptation is so strong to say adena mengo ye indefinite man. And to imagine say makwako ye indefinite man in March. Na case worker no abroni be ye we make a decision in March. Ufisa de no be refuse application no because April nenso. Na afi me de ohaw ana abre me client because of 2,500 inti. Na obi ebra wa brain na na ba be ye kwa o.
I see.
You serious. a mistake Ghana for ye papa because the temptation is very strong. You look at it.
But lawyer, the thing is, my worry, Obi or British citizen, and I'm going to call him. You know, so I'm going to British passport. So still, I mean to me,
and no, it does not change the law. So the law is the law. Intermediate program, no. Me say when it comes to law, forget common sense, forget morality, forget economics, forget everything. It is the law. And sometimes on a law, it doesn't make sense. And in a case beat me court. What I say, at the judges normal border man, and you're down normal boo. You have to follow the law. If you answer the course of America, what the young funny said, Hillary Clinton, only Donald Trump 4 years ago. Any pomotuma Hillary Clinton, more than any part of Donald Trump. And America, I'm friend a popular vote, you know.
That's right.
Name one or more electoral college. But electoral college, you know, omutoma Donald Trump, I'm not be a president, you know. And I did it doesn't make sense. But that is the law. And you know, mess P, me yes, I'm mistaken, it be that. Because I'm on for yes, I'm mistaken, you know. And there is that economic temptation, say, where the time in the bend, where they send me the tumor, Abian and Yamiandrum, then a case work, no, one go for case, you know, not Abia by the time of a case, you know, now me 10 years and also. Now, say, what for case, you know, before so 10 years, never so way. And when they so refuse you, or refuse you when you're wrong. You refuse you, sad time, no, utibe boom, obe for lawyer dark. Oh, who papa, no, Mr. Men fan chow. Yes, and Obeka say, hey, lawyer, no, boarding, you no boarding, you know, o kona ko messy apa, Mr. Se bididi. But me say, you number, because I'm mistaken. It's best to be, and the wobbles in a crack, never yet. Ghana
for no, and we need to book more, say, and a cow last one, a lawyer getting a yabo, but now, I mean, sure, until I may just make sure I verify, is it something possible? Because anybody you know, I mean, Marcus said, almost say, lawyer for getting a jabo, but I don't know how. So I don't I can tell you, as a Ghana for, and I say, Nippon Ghana for Nibimo, and true much an annoying. Me make us ask him watch row, me G2.5 years, my obi. Okojina sorry them some British passport amano. Yes, I feel na fashion say frame, but because of confidentiality, mintiminka. And just my mechanic say obi hani ni case. So enti obu an kata no kita ni bin kra no, enye ni do. And I can tell you, shay obu a oben wo pa. Enipa na eboa. Wadwene be ye o se nipa ni po yi. But obi wa oboa se be di na chi o. Obe san ne ho. Asemato obetwa wo agisa masa me boa se be di na chi ma boa se be san me ho. Enti enipa hu papa. Enipa ehu. Enti na yenye very careful. Aya obu a obedwa nanum a kire wo. I say oh na me de na obi ye maame na obi aye. O ka kire so go evidence ne mra. On fama. Asema me ne wo kan. Hwe ebi to me client be the same thing. Or friend me also obi so de akoji indefinite or ne nsem bebre. Me ka kire me client dey say kache nipa ne say indefinite na o de akoji no. On twa ne picture mrew. Ne me say about 6 months in here am I they be offer na to anansesem. Enti yanko for de Ghana ni bia lawyer. And I will tell you. But kakra bi na akọ law school. Enti me de betimi aka cho ne say hwe broni na mka sa asem we no. Obeto nwoma na ma. Ese fedi agro. Na wa wo de hye wo kon wi a ona bo hu say ewiase yetu. Enti broni se ekwan na da ho. Ese ekwan we na ese ofa so. Ufiri 1 akọ 2, ufiri 2 akọ 3, ufiri 3 akọ 4. Bibini beka so per shortcut mi firi 1 ese mi drew 4. No akọ jump. Broni hu a obesa mo akọ achi. No asa akọ start 1 biem. Adi se kromu a akọ di queue so. Unse ekromu obi akọ di queue so. Se wo kwana so pente na akọ jump ko gina nimu a. Ye beka cho se masa dey se queue. Ti by the time abeda wani asa ba no obi asa be share kire. Enti besa de akọ achi biem. Enti mesre p obi a wotie bia no yemfa ye hia asem obi obeka kire wo sei ana metia ye sei ana obi aye sei ana obi aye sei ana obi aye amame enye obi a obeka sa asem ne na epe yi eno de I will tell you because ye bi mo percent bia no da from no tie aso na ono ye big man na wo friend boss e bi mo percent wo de Nyankopon be page wo da obi wo ho a uye bibia osi nyamu ebe ye nyame pagya wo pe na say nipa na sa wo problem. Oh yes
Eya hunhun bia e hye your community ma one ye careful no mwani ana ho. On sabesi form. Ye pega koso ani asa atwe wasan. Enti dru ba bia e so you very careful. Ye see the one na ekọ na one wo na ba no. Ono na enyawa. Obeyo. Enti sa de ne de me da se pastor raise sa de no. Me de me efe me kanewu. Me kana mewu because it is the truth. Enti no mesro pi ekwan na edi so no. Wo de di so sa na empenifo ne kan. O se kwan no e wase dien se dien ewie wa aboboa no. Na wo fie kwan wa kra na obi so de eto awo de so. Eye dia obedru. Why? Enti de di sa kwan ne so.
Martin lawyer, me da was any advice.
No problem.
Sure.
This be RCP. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Papa.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon. We are sorry, pa, me say what free continuously. Time abe free bi aso no bi gina so.
Good afternoon, lawyer. Ma se bi na me so pa na me tie o program no. The pastor your friend Hannah.
Your friend Hannah.
Pachai.
Okay, yam ko Hannah. What our Bible mu no?
Me pachade.
Okay, yam ko.
Me pacho me Kera na me ne care agency for bi na ye adwuma. Na me client ba kunya coronavirus.
Eish.
Na me akola ya akolanti ni mother me ko na ni mother ka chere say akola nya coronavirus watasi positive nti me ma me mbafio me was not woman was wa catch office. Manager say akola nya coronavirus but omo am frame and can training. Iti mi ko hona woman no catch me and na me free office catch o. Iti mi be fie no be 3 days and na office manager ne frame say me isolate me for 10 days. Iti me isolate me for 10 days. Iti later and no mama me juma na me konye. Na lawyer me pa cho when chia me ka me ko kan ya wo see won kan che me say me isolate me ho. Na me say no. But emra ne che say wo contact obi a o ye positive a. Also was isolating for 14 days.
Yeah.
But was saying on 5 days. Inti medic pay dia just say or ye sick pay. And I'm say I know we was have to for me annual leave. And I'm still do and me kwa seek for advice for legal advices inti minti me and just pay no. Lawyer which you make 3 days today. Now they are so sick pay £31. Maybe meet me. I am patrolling your advice.
Okay. Firstly, no. Oma no me adwane agency and I say what's the arrangement with the
company?
And you are an employee.
Yes.
Our employment contract.
Me patron by a 0 contract.
0 hour contract.
Yeah.
Okay. 0 hour contract, Krana. I don't think so because your absence is related to coronavirus.
Yes.
And the government has come up with so many different policies in which people are protected in relation to this type of scenario. On top of my head, I can tell you straight, what they are doing is not right. But what I would say to you is a better possible and employment your employment contract, any pay on the breadwinner. And kabit me a email bremana so be scan ya bremia. Now yakasa actually, I will go direct to the employer. If they don't stop her, you will take the necessary action. Because menya and prefer contacting me. I don't wanna say what they are saying or sanity, but it's an allegation. This how I need to put it. Whereby people are taking money from the government, they are not even giving it to them.
Yes,
but the money is being taken on their behalf. One case is saying, me no more they are press for more so almost 2 weeks now farm respond. Which what they are doing now is totally wrong. You see the point? And in your case, a case made in some phone, I did say me bufu. I will fight for you until they get in touch, and then we will take it from there. Because I said they are taking liberties, kakra. And also could you account and £31.
Pay no, it's £31. See, government assessor and ran recently, auntie. I was said meeting as a sick pay. I don't want the money. Now,
said government assessor, Cecilia, Tama, now we are isolation, now government changes Amrano. And why is he coming to tell you this? Oh, dear, mammy, you didn't come actually. Why? You didn't come actually. I'm sure my candy, any radio. So, they say, I'm a pie.
Even first coronavirus by Uchiamika 189 pounds instead of 70,002. And I'm afraid it's I don't know for me call now on this up to now one lawyer.
Okay, what dear, what's send the bar now for you know the best way forward. Why? Because as you see desa wafre, we are Ghanaian. Nasi yesisi wo adwumam, nasa wonti ase a seek advice. Hwe yenkrofo no yesisi nkrofo de bia. Obi wa brofo obekenti, eno betwe ni tikra free so a, eno yentwan free so. Brofo kakra obeka ho, enye se wontimi nka ho. Sa idea say me kan brofo meye mistake no. Yifri wadwenim. The yani say nipa ne bete wase. Se brofo no tutu tin grammar wo tikra na it matters not. Ma can be many paninte wase. Ne seek advice because among for years mistakes now. Personally, me dwene ho I don't get it. I don't understand why intia among for ASR mistakes no. Enti the mechanic say I was say ye nyina no yetimi eye de I was say yetimi fight for our rights because if you don't fight for your right who is going to fight for you? Yes, you see Ghana for too much. You know, obi okra na sebio or bank. Na nisika dem bank friend na de emo hyehye no onko na nisika a block or bank odwene ho a wonte ase you know we are making too many mistakes intimacy p say wo ho na employer enema bi course na fi say e wronger who dey seek advice and say last week about 2 weeks ago papa bi free ready be hu me na adwumfo edi ensemhunu saa me say me throw one letter kwa a me throw ma no afi omo man redundancy package of £3,500 sanka wan say na daji anaka wa man be humi a kase kanka ankeko ni esisi no na is gone but one letter ekọ yom ho so omo settle no 3,500 na sanka wo ye adwuma mpo a how long would that take you to save that money enti ye nuanom edru ba bia enye sika nyina na yedi so ho because you also be this ke bia dia ene sasa bonsam ani na abehu edru ba bia ese we ye bold na uko forward na o fighting enti ye nua ba yi case ye big deal what dey meaning say we will do the best that we can for her to get justice because justice and law media I always believe say through operation of the law we can all achieve equal justice na media I also believe say nokre eye miensa employer ne nokre ana employee nokre ana nokre na ankasa na obia etwe nokre no ekọ ne side Nembum se oka ne kra nankasa eba wo side at all times. And we will fight for her. And no doubt about that. Because as you see you honoma, said you bufu kra. Because it was the kind of story, we go to bika £31. It's an insult. You know. And therefore no, we will fight for her. No doubt about that. And that's the into the Becca actually. Why? Papa Biswaba, Yemfano, na yonko. Hello. Papa na osere na edru ne so.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I didn't say.
If me eja obi mpe.
Hey, eja obi mpe to won kan che. Na bibia boko de wadidi.
Oh, na didi fa na asoma ka na me sere se eno kwara emiensa. Eno kwara na ngasa esi ho. Oh dear. Na me dear.
That's right.
Eso no kwara na ngasa de esi ntino. I just any family and sending in every she has an
that's right.
And that's if lawyer no question can maybe sir any answer can
fire away a job bimpe
topic about in fact the pa na any maybe every movie me who mind the gap no na for because you go food trainer na is a platform
you go food tube
you say immigration YouTube but anyway and I'm more education you set free crime who go for tube and maybe one and just say
that's right
that's a problem and you know and honor your that's lawyer tell me what do I mo boye na ya ye mu bi no ye ye free say sabi you
Hello, Pacho started BM wine. Let me say, Obi be cut a corner.
Okay,
and he started BM.
Lawyer, Miss Mabo Massam Toffa.
Bon Toffa, my.
The percent me mammy and young Ghana for you, tea, Ghana, any lawyer be as a sabu. Obi or your customer friend, Sabi. Or lawyer Krana, on Chatama, on Chakoto Krana, Sabi, name I put to you. Mama, young for young French.
What's he say? Lawyer won't try to, you know. I put to you, Kwadi, he's got it.
And you say, Obi Cassie, Okitada Mantrono. Now your castle or your lawyer. Then your tea for a tea and I said, beer. You want to hear him. Mamma, me for or my name to uniform. Because again I put to you in here. Would you agro be due? And I will put tea as well, 1 year. Over some of the boca. Now, ya say, at the papa will fee, and I do often be upon your piano. I will be a chinny saying, said the Naudi Kakayan. So, wow, a group of Robert Cato say, my wow say, the Sam one animal your pay. A person of chin and I will cheat, or stretching an eye when you gap into a pretty and a young crew for a lawyer for me. They will be no one, yet you on my new year from near Sagana for a lawyer for me. Lawyer, and then you might be a woody, no, Obecasi Abia, a miracle. Say, oh, yeah, Odiphobia, Ewa Ghana, Yabekasu, wash and come, Yabama Wisika. Maybe a baby tears is here, a summer friend will become say, Nanya Biano, lawyer, no, when you be an answer what you be, I know you're going to feel. Lawyer, assembly tenting in it, and say, Cromuhano, I dear be out of the shot, the arsenal, making sure so the big could be. Say, you're told now, Sardini, A. Make sure say any A. Say A B, any B. Now, and no, I ain't said it, Ghana for being one, you walk Romano. You name baby, any name, Annie. Baby, as I say, I can say yes, no, you can no. Baby, as I say, I can yes, no, they are walking beautiful. Now, I am penny with young. You be pleasing you. Chroma is out now, what will be having a problem. I don't know, mechanism. What your application? What's the Ukitaba Ukruma? And I banner Ukitano. What could apply for private and family life under European law, which Article 8. And a UK border for I'm making application based upon about Ukruma. And I could your home office fee. I'm mama asitna if he said NHS, Bebre Echo. Na omuntia obi beka se krono sisi anasai aya mi bisa mo se ewi asna de bi eye free no ye ntwiri so so wo se obi akowo free e na ontua sebe nurses fo na omoye adwuma doctors e kwanda ni be fa so bi tua moka enti se na so obi yare na se kaye wo be ko na doctor ni ho nurse ni ho na nipa wu a nye ya beka se oh abrochira se Abrocha said yes, so my international call. But dear Kubetia Cacrano, and only a day of my year, like a business also. Yama been with Sika Roma. Sikana Yageno, ya be in a on my real free say, open a coye, and a yateno, and what contribute. Now, ya so pity Croma, maybe a Mecca Sabi with Mecca. If you say, what you Croma say, what you are buying Sika? Nasa Cassie contribute to be Nessa Wumpia. Now, so be pure tighter. Believe in me, the whole infant will because no tight won't pure from one chrono. But yes, it Sika. NHS free cheer. Now that you know, obviously, so there were almost to many benefit. Doctors, or quality doctors, quality nurses. Now, what may you do a year? Oh, yeah, do my jail tax. Now, so what you two taxa? Yeah, the BSC, council houses, local authorities. I buy policy for promo, baby, policy, and boss, I ring, near basic yo. You will be the promo, and I am too from a brochure safe. Sa contribution a piano, and then be out the other wing pure contribution. Shall see a tree. Then for so swammer. OPC, one of the application is a home office for no. I'm going to afford the assembly. Yes, so my Jimmy. Oh, brother, but beat you. On no coin application, assassin. Or home office fee. Or NHS. Meaning with your combine. Or say, obi etunefo onipa ne nyo lawyer o eno ntina me ka asa hyase no lawyer won trap down no enya I put to you o si obi tunefo ese o adenti na sese wo kwakotua NHS fee na kwakotua home office fee eya nkwase asem entino ye di bibi aba na wonti say ye settlement and a pre-settlement into wo buy a British in India wo betimi akọ apply settlement scheme and don't fear she a free bonto mommy and family to for and yes be a make a favor will be but one share year may challenge you so about so maybe I know be a coco ye be but otis as we are a bebone coco the watching your son lawyer only pananyas on your duma and you see cow 2.5 years the man on our country says can okonya duma mua as sabi osome one the property sika apem and the fa air compim you know I never go who you know be country says sika no also will be a tunifo I say yes settlement scheme and you know or qualify because they buy British and as sabi you akoka bosome ba akope naka enfie do na ye ka no we training in every but advice will be the man na onipa na qualify lawyer ntino or say lawyer for pharmacy and oti onipa na futu lawyer or the enema na call you know because of onam on one route so no or say home office one year for because no the mo de ma me imagine sika ntino na su evomo and the odoje no kofa settlement and wakoya application £365 lawyer enema na kodem and a sabi we are software na tie me obi ka sem bia enye bibia na abaye pastor bon paye one hwe ya ubenya osa enya pastor ya de ewu enye paye bia na so boma obi and a software bi burum hiraba ba shataba lawyer e kama se matwani tofa ya rufichu ni pa no come office waka che ni se application o ye no e wrong if you say the audition as you know enye no na se okofa no de ko wie me no ka say so no almost is for asa tro na adwuma oya o jisika mu o se adwuma mu fo no so no ne saka letter na no adwuma mu fo no so ka che say on stop adwuma if you say we need the right to work now me question is say ofra me on na me ka o so me bisa na say ya no home office fee no ahe no ese se obetua o calculate ni nyina ma no e be cost almost about nearly 3,000 something and me bisa na say bo so mo ye adwuma ahe na etua also what about 1,009 and I'm saying krata no kodem how many months in year or say 7 to 8 months in year and I'm saying okay yan calculate boso me bia no what to be bia na say we save 500 multiply by 6 eh or say we me go school me say I say 3,000 and I'm saying 3,000 no ko tua ya and ka watimi anya waso bi
that's right
eduma no so no ka o ma metena fi say si aya ade aba na ko adan na be fa so de nyedwuma me ne uka say ne hope o ba be hunu lawyer da ko the oba gini bia no obetua eto me bi wo ho a nipa ne mani bible ne bia enka ahyase no o seek advice enya fe na put to you and now find the right channel and I said it according to futu e wo obi a oye professional obi o wasa ade ko didi hu ni mu dia hwe lawyer haship oni pa ne ba be fam eni amani atete a o ba betena efie because of 2.5 years obi na o qualify for them until me ka asem to say ye ni pa no atimamufo no mama yanfa futu mfiri obi a o wa de ko didi hu ni mu dia na oni pa na dwuma ye mere na ususu aso mato anya sabe bia no ye da accuse ya no ya fo ye no moti kurum ha ya no ya fo nso na accuse ye but say ofa adekode ne so a home office for no ye se so ko ye no watwia e bi kro na say uni sika o explain chiro ma e bia mi sika se na mi se ni se o mu ye nipa but say office say wu ni munyansa che kwasi buroni ono a wa ba di wo so abagi wo gold I see place because heavy. Or not that you go to the water. Now, Baba catches only in your such a mamma, you decided in free you. Not the assassin, ye yellow. Yen seeking legal advice. At the assassin, a fast one, that wire. Mama, ye, it is a reason and beneficing. She might be a course also. Office out a shortcut. Aqua for this settlement. The word be tea on fee. Now, Sunday, this I was said. Says you cannot be beaten, and yes, it be a yammy they say. ya refuse nipa no anase se sika na okotwa but it is also NHS so obi a you feel free a obi a yadwa na on pay tax wa ha emfa so den na wo sa wo yare na ambulance ebetimi ababefo wo fie and answer from paramedic squad na omoma yes omo nyoma duma yie because pay tax on contribute national insurance on contribute maybe more money na se service kromo kra na yakase na ye man krata na se una wo 2.5 so ni e bi say contribution be no contribute ya fama on krata etino masem nyina be kan say ade e se krono utimu se wutue bi no mesre atimamufuo wo ye Ghana ni mapa na oti kromo ha contribute bi na ye nya da bia no na ye man Ghana say sa omo to no omo contribute towards omana e command be fa na ntuma pafia ye tie bro kire wo ye tie bibi embo oman no na bibi ba yesu enya chefa wo me de manu asi
Mr. Obimpe, yeah, that was CP for your nice contribution because asema working me will be a biatono only acro obehumi I was shocked then said this time no as I could keep telling indefinite that and so obaya yenya ye born many baby see you know a do time so baby no maybe I know they go far baby and for a period of 9 years from 2011 wakoni na mo dia nwu ade awie ne ho afi na osa etai esai ediaba a kire se yasimi asoni mu a sese no ye ba beboa no na minim se nyame nti ye betimi aboa no ama bibia ayede akoso wano ama no nti sanete amanfo ye mistakes me lo yada akon madwuma ne se ese mebu anipa se wo ba na akon na akosei no na wo ba ehu ana yehwe so e charge o because na nse enche bia obi di case breme oba na case na emboa no mitu ne foka chense sisi akoya application e be refuse enti nyanto boase ne ko build the evidence ne app anye nipa ne de ogiko baabi ye ko refuse no ye ko refuse ni wie no obae na sem charge nipa ne 1,200 oko say no oba me charge ni 2,000 and she was happy to pay me yes so no aye ye de ama no me so I'm happy I've got my money. And to go because manum boarding, as a manum boy, because I will give the person quality and good advice and good service. And sometimes sanity, and your best remo, Mamon comma, Adian say, and Koya poto, and send Nadia Balo Yadako, because no the bar, said the Adian Citiano, Sana Miss Media, Mefaso Achajo. Then won't begin in ano, or the bar, Ayana Yin the ye, and my name easy amount MIA. Lemum ukona so okoye ne basabasa na de ba afi ne ba betenetene no ne atrisi ni bia ya start adwuma no tie basa na se adwuma ne yeden adwuma no yeden ha se bio mi so ese mididi ha ti sana etie amafa begu so pa yenkofa mami ya ono so abey. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, lawyer. Mami Mary Boatman e ka say.
Mami Boatman from Dawson.
Na be me say na pay dem ameso kakra ba mantem.
Oh, and yes,
me kusa ko ma kutie. And last week you me see ya say na mada.
Yeah, right.
But me tia say na mada. Na lawyer ya dance bebre ne ade ya memende bia wo betina ho a wo be ye no mama. Na kakra mbeti ye na me kan say e ma na ha me fo say brofo no so no ya na efam ni yesua de wo mu a because words bi wo ha ya na yenti da enti wo ka brofo kra etimi me yesua de because brofo no wan ka wontimi nsua de enti yentimi nya ni nyina kotodogo se de wo ka no se bi wo ha wo tie India fo tie Somalia fo tie anye ye Ghana fo nko na station no dia enti na no me fo a so ma wa be hu ne poso na ye adwuma pa na lawyer kakra me kan se papa yo be kasa yo kasa e pa de metimi de papa we ya famra kwa so kakra yo be kasa yi okohia me we yi ase no twa picture no so de beba up to now on famai it's metimi na famra so kwa so ana because na ne ye de pa no de be jira so
I almost mean enough famra kwa so because we breach your contract no na de be kan say o ka so de beba na emom bana enya maaye ana o ka so de beba no wan fa deadline anto so
Antoso.
Until we are channel Libro, say channel Libro, nobody knows. Nemo, who's your bonnet cocoa? As so many 14 days, one farm out in your cocoa.
I know, yeah. What was my 14 days?
A job being fair was more. What could your picture? And I'm the sort of record.
Yes. But they had my tenant kind of was there, Papa, my bear or no. I
don't know, Mr. Obimpe. And I'm more haunting me aware.
I
picture no befiaba, maybe I could be. Yeah,
the craft. Lawyer, we don't see me play.
It have been a miss for your support. Thank you. Bye bye. One more friend almost met me a fresh story. You were Hanamo. Your money tougher enough for you to me and call your name. Not a month for because of maybe she's meet me a free be back and hopefully, you know, almost so any or more time now, almost at media casa. Nipana Abigusi P. Yenshana yen free be back. Yes, and it look bad. Yensha, so almost meet me answer now. I feel your okay. And then simply now, 10-year gap, no, and I said 10 years, no, you're very careful. Say, Obe working so hard, not a beer. What could you be a cheat? No, I could break with 10 years. Hello, Patrol may throw back.
Me person about program also.
I also party uncle.
Okay.
Now, Patrol did the same.
First off, your family, Chris.
Prince.
Chris.
Oh, Chris. Okay.
Okay.
And your uncle Chris.
Very good. Papa na se mo woman no di kan be kasa e woman na kasa good papa ye suban ye nyina ye suban me kura me ka ho because me tuntum na be ni pa ye nyina ye suban me yi ni hu film because na ye poni aye
sir
na da me dey force kaka ne se ejuma ya wo yi se ye ni pa 20 cry one line so na see 100 cry one line so cry ne ye so ni ye ti o see na ye ba office crap ni ye 50 pound crap for just asema ye take ye sika bebre but what dedicated with life and your service who just say you are doing God's work because you are serving humanity and now they may be free in the same thing so yes I share ade adentina ade na ye share mo anye share ade papa e ma nipa na ode ade ni ma ye no ono so na kuma beto ni yem na de se de wo ni mu bia no ono so betumi eyi e de abre nemo Yeshua ni asakwa akoka adefofo enye fa Yeshua enye mi kwa mi kan because mi so ye nipa anyway they be an ogusu awoka and I'm to boase so ni send out to I mean say with time people are changing because that opportunity way in the past 20 years so ye na nanu mana si empeni foka mobile no amo anya sa opportunity am lawyer kram betina TV so na si radio so say or explaining your matter at them bebre e mistakes but ye ma ya ba and then and yanya sa lock into mumaye fa odo any respect and so eduma mo ye any idea mo dey my because ultimate na see and then one for oh lawyer me person who say no why explain natural ultimate go yes ade wen kire buru obedi usika ye mo ye ni nyina ma ye free it say ye shuba no e say ye jai you know, I don't miss me contribute, but my problem back open is we could settle status. The person who say after settle status, again, doing the same day. Because my plan, Mamu Diabra.
So, unya settled status now, the next one will be British citizenship. And you know, a bit dependent, British citizenship, you know, when you qualify. Now, British citizenship, you know, say within the last 10 years, so what in a krumua in breach of the immigration rules no edda. That means don't apply until say what calculated from time unya status are legal in this country and then you go for it for 10 years. The American NSA say what settlement status Mpachonya settlement status never been
2 weeks ago.
Until 2020 when your settlement status. And before you can apply for British citizenship and be successful, no, we need to go back 10 years ago. That would take us to 2010 in October. And yes, say from October 2010 up to October 2020, no. Certain na uwa visa uye lawful, uye legal in this country. If the answer and therefore, no, I say count from time you the first 5 years in a ma and he said about 5 years ago as an example 2015 then I say we train until 2025.
Okay.
Now your application for British citizenship now no na you know about what phrase is here very good advice. Life in the UK test say oh kwakwaje British citizenship e was say we ana e was say we English test. Now life in the UK test ade achi ade esen nyina no the syllabus ni bi ka ho enti no it's becoming more difficult and difficult and difficult. Patchwati say enti life in the UK test so is for life. Enti say we ye ne ene achi na the certificate ne to a better. Enti by 2025 is still valid. The only English test na obey. Now English test is only valid for 2 years. Enti ehun hia say obey no ne. Ti say time dey ba so 2025 na why English test na ka ho. Na why na waso majo. Because na ade achi ade esen nyina no. Sisi Donald Trump pe wo mpo ye tu ne so ade. Biden eba. Ade e be chi na bibia sa change bi. Ni nyina no be ka syllabus ne ho. Na afi eyemo na e change. Afi okoya na ye more difficult. Enti the mechanic say ebeya ye life in the UK test ne to. E ka be 1 year bi amatam na so na akoye English test na ka ho. Na wasumajo na wa ye free. Why?
Okay.
Enti we dey me so me de ese oso de afutu bai. Asema ye nuanom ye nyina ye ken mo bia emfa no in a bad faith. Because if we are say se wan hu yare a untimi nsa wo hu yare da. Ana de wawu no ono na enim de eku no. Se bio sa ahokyere mi ye nuanom akom. Ama omahu se amoa. Enti de ken nyina no eye afutu. Obi wa otia na ne buafu osemo kasa mo se Ghana fo. Menye Somalia ni ade ni onya Somalia ni. Ti onim de ekoso wo mo community. Ti so kasa Ghana fo a not in a bad way but or twi adwene asi so say eye ti bia na se suban bia ewo yemu. Enti se ye nsua nyansa na ye nsua sa ade na ye be koso the same mistakes all the time. Enti be srem ma obia entwe obia no enko bonim na ye nyina ne yiem enti na ebia yi omanima omdo omokasa bold no bebre ni ya adwene but there's going to be 1 or 2 person bia na dwene mu no ompeso begia to me say do ye ne wrong or ye wrong okro peso che say ye right na se bi o se bi onyansa eni ba akofo otirim epo we ensu ogum ensu to a ebisa akogum na de o se onsua de no enya de obehu ade ana de sua it is numbers ye nsu enwie enti yesemu pi bo bia emya no nkosi bone eja to aso
na nibo minyu bi on you about the obade ne wo hono but woman no okay oni ni wo ba na mo no adabi akola ne man ne nyane ne ba but oni woman ne wo hono ba akola ne papa ne oni ma bi ne jai but boy ne na akola ne life best 6 months ti no ko bi so bi sa se ekwanya bi wo hono mo betumi gina akola no so because akwanya pick up this book and o ma no so pick up this book to bi so bi sa se ekwanya bi wo hono ma
akwanya de ebi wo ho pa na enkomo esem ni no eye a bit delicate kakra enti sebeya meka se ombuku appointment na wo mehume otimanim na metinanim na ya draw ye fene se road map no se otie de meka na ofaso a menim se ede asomdwe bebre no asema wo kan obi de aba enra nko a menya atam kran fe nipa no also be hume ye tenase hwe ayana sometimes no mameka sa asem we Salaya because of Bimran officer, it's very easy for people to conclude say lawyer need penisi kaje entina or yes ano. And true, some lawyers they want your money, they will pull you in and get your money. But media, I always say this. I'm not motivated by too much money. Semenya £1 na medina menya masumdua, I'm happy. If we are see the book of Proverbs, or see bibi o we are see biano. Eye ehuhu ade ye beja wako enti no eye very important say enipa be de ne ho beto no na obekire ne kwan papa no na asini ye na dachi bi waka se nkenye papa we ya aka abo bi chire
that is what the black man is failing to understand say and this sunny power you see I cannot understand maybe I got to talk me community say I just decided you know what let me just leave there
Yeah, but don't give up the fight, you see, because the thing is, the more also kasa kono, nipa ni bibeti, and things are changing. Because me say by radio so 10 years in here, but me who say there has been a change in attitude. So more and through education, you know, people will change from their old ways. So you na ye idea any darkness na dey because what in him. What the kind of independent you cry na kosoka. E ye dia one day bi. Ba ko be fam amana dwena sesa. Enti no meka say ye nwan wo de ombuku appointment. Menin be kasa na kire na kwan obefa so ne de so ye. Obey okay.
Na sisi mo ya call lockdown mo da so ye one on one because timinche ha say ya because we to come in na ko be 3 days ni. Tende baby owo bia me ko train ba kan say me pese ubeka si me koka so asem na wo tie. Enti me dia to speak on TV.
Yeah.
This is my story and me pese ubeka say they say me pese asem they say you need more home office.
That's right.
Home office for bro for me maintain. Me say how are you? It's fine. But you koka take 15 and they live.
Okay. Any big deal. Yedi kan kasa same way because of the lockdown. Yempese obi be pie na police akogina no na akofa nsem bebree ba. But officer your arrangement a yahyehe. I betimi book telephone appointment amano. Se Zoom kra na betimi a link ne up. Na yenya ntobo ase na ya kirekirim e wo yen kasem. Baby eso di ne nansi, baby eso jampo, baby eso tiem. Ya kireche ne kwan ni nyina. Odiswa onya problem. And no I can tell him that. A woman say me guarantee anything, but I can tell him say the chances of being successful is very, very, very high. Say advice the memo any day be can so beti no be this so dia onya problem.
No obey this because I want this one. Mem obey this because so this na me so me here. So this so see na there be my be 2 years and yet see I know what no kakra. What you say or king na my whether a chairman office na ya book appointment and just say
yetimi assorting me out. What you be sorting out, don't worry cry. Ana a good say when you come up na dey bu awunu ya nyame nhyira. Okay, no problem. Bye. Okay. Yenya Bako so send the question about say I have a degree in the UK. Do I have to do the English test? No, if you have a degree, you are exempted from the English test. However, you need to do the life in the UK test. Enti me sure say man sound yemia nana yeboa. Into so dear no. Samuel Boating. Okay. Hello, you are live on Facebook. Hello. You are live on Facebook. Who be so some question and answer with the Bibia be so bu some actually.
We no kasa some time ago. Now we've been I think we own Moyaba before no kasa. Anti we actually nkomo. E say more live Facebook program. Enti ma menfra we actually why?
Me ba che.
Okay, that's it. Hello, 908, but you're doing uncle.
Hello, good afternoon.
Me watching.
Yeah, but so Pumboko.
Oh, me probably a dempa, me jina so sa bo apopin.
You be na me ase. Yeah, you were more than city be prepare na near we magana community no. Na me insha papa.
Amen. You really so.
So far, number 1 lawyer UK.
Number 1 ba ko pe.
So that same day to be no wa with me so ano and I was so ka say be ya ka say punu empu tin na me sure be pray na we kakra am pese me busa no patro sa 20-year route no no me pass out na kuma without any criminal we be illegally for 20 years patro after no who apply 215 year the mau and I say was say unya indefinite no me patro.
Unfortunately, a year 215 year demo. 8 years ago, na came out indefinite. But Teresa May said there be a year too easy. In Tiamonco for 2.5 years. Some for 10 years and send when you're indefinite. A very sad, but that is the reality.
Oh, okay. Yo, and I'm that's it.
Yes, that was it. Yame, as insurance, I'm sure we'll see you. Young family, so. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, Uncle.
Also good afternoon, Ibi. I'm Patrick Frost and I can say friend.
Patrick from Ajinkwa.
Hey, Ajinkwensi, oh, Obabeji Yankwa, Yamiasi. Mary, a friend, is a Jinkwana Casalande. Wow, Masida Nabe. Ona say me shira ma gin kwa na bay. Mon pe janyo. Eh de ma gin kwa na ba. A gin kwa na ba belande. Wow, ene de ma yen shira. A gin kwa pa ba. The program so. Nyame enshira. Se wa ba na so ba be jam say nyina nkwa. True justice and law. True Fire Life Radio. Hallelujah. Mommy, yanko.
Your uncle Willie may fair akonya sona. Mama, adofuna to send your wire, mamma, Bruce, me is papa. That was, say, Mama means can you maybe?
Yeah, that was what pa. Now before Sobercono, Sasson Wilson, I bet me a year no. Oh, buy no BBC, and I said, we can BB. Over idea, me kind.
Me buy no. Who catch me say, meet me. She cannot charge me no. Meet CIB, and I meet Jack Catra, and see me buy and I make a woman's hand, and I may be winning my bra. And I catch me say, I come my family. The main news are the Bassy sea, and I'm meeting me to your links. I come up, father. Ever Musa, I want me. Yamia, the most madame, who may we cry go for the famous of the idea now.
When you're saying, there's all cut timeline, number 14 years. Sure. Yes. Obi Busam is our question. We. I said, what is all you be say? Obia or ya dear with train sick in an or koya and chenaba, ne yampana. Nam catching the pan, the catching the pan say, me a loyalty, some cassa yampa, why do you semi bois? But from experience, I am not a yakuma dear wadio, and a junior a dewitting. Me the man when you say we are so, oh ya dear, Nadia kuma pa, any juniper, a ya. I'm telling you, regardless of obstacles everywhere way, you will succeed. At some point. Entine yenuanom se wo ya de a jiwa kumem fa akoma pa ene adwene pa. Wo de fa ye de wo ye no. Ni Yakopon ebe manifest ya wa ebe ye onwa. Asema wo de se wo de ani wa amount. Papa bi so tie meet me money din. Me se ne de ono ba ya ye bo ne bo anu ye ni sika nyina egu o. Me ka kire ne se wo faith, wo gidie, ese de wo ye de be ye yi. Na wo de wo pa hwe de nyame beye okobo ne nsa no wanu office ana me yi me say the application is granted ono na assertive record our justice and law 2 hours me who be da okobo ne nsa no odu office na de na ye de ama no me ka che no kro onyi so ebi me who be da enti ana eye akoma ne adwene da wotiri ewi say you attract what you think se wo ho na tem bia wo plot evil na wo dwena dwenbone a oda wo na wo Ubehu se bibi hantel na afe ato ne ensemhunu ene kasehunu na mbom sa dwempa wo tirima masa de be fra no begina no eye nhira obi a wonimu otisa wo kasa otumi se Yakopon afa so de wo ye adwuma instead of damaging, instead of causing commotion, instead of causing hatred, instead you are bringing positivity, productivity and love. Enti ewiase se oye bibia fa akoma pa ene adwene pa ne Yakopon so be make sure say jani na wo kono anase babia na se de oye no enye kwada e de ya obede obetua woka ewo akwan bi so enti me da wase esese bio ososo obo ho dawro we ka kire amansa ama sese kra no enkrofo ado mo breme kra no enye adeketwa. That's right. Enti sa oya lawyer bi na so so utie me a me se no yesne bi tie me utie me a ene me ka kire oya ade a fa akoma pa ene adwene pa na ye ni yie men kase Yakopon aye wadom ama privileged position bi nti no obeye arrogant onfa buo emanipa because ene ebia wanya position bi o echina obeko na obi so enya position bi enti ewiase no obi nim dachi asem me lawyer Darko me yes me decide you dey make us a testimony way 2013 I went to Ghana Law School Makola me koya Ghana course ne so e wo ho no na me kom na Makola ho Ewra Law School mu no obi da 4x4 ohunya na wasi no ya dako o se o tie mu che so hu do nya ne ho me se ni pay me nkai no o se won kai me me na chim paper ma me no papa we ni pakesi o akanyo no a che se o kasa sa afikram kana me ni ewu because me dem a simple man o me pe taka gigi na David me dem a simple man enti no e ban sa no me cry na feel a bit embarrassed. After security officers so much na door na no nyina betwa me ho ahia ana papa yi kasa na kasa oh my man ana pe me oh say na be fa we fie na mba be school na so kasa omu de wanye after cry no chese me cry no my just tie bi ana ja me gene number obi ade bia me dru door na no a nya na me bie me door no after papa be ye dede no omu se me ba no mudi ka be bie door na ma so enipa enti ewiase se ohu so obi namwo na oluku simple a fabuo ma no ewiase obi anya obia respect is earn entu namwo a fabuo ma obia na obia so ede obuo ama because ewiase no obi nim obrempon enhya ase entu nama fabuo ema obia because ebuo de is save life courtesy is save life. And it's very, very important. As a winama, udi bobe mo bia. Say your papa buy me office, and I can pay job my Betty, and I can be church and watch there now. Uncle Kuhu meno, Uncle Bickham. So at the end of the day, no, a man and be a man, and do triamica. And what business does he have? But this is a man who was prepared to pick me from my house and take me to the law school every day. He was so keen to know where I'm living and my living environment. Just say to the no see kasano kra no me kra na fe na me ho adwiri me. Enti wi ase do baby ano e da wanim e twen o. Ye adepa na ye modi pa na edi pa wo hi e ye sen ahonya. Enti agenkwa ye da mase. Me so am
question kitu e bi don pese bibisa.
Okay.
Me pacho me ba ne die no me guso ye eyi. Na cement me anye within December ya ebeha ma adriana.
Also bane die no uguso ye eyi. What I was saying is say say book no ready a. Book ni ne hu hia enti push for that to get done before say minya book na in any event no we can put in the application and submit before 31st. Now after in terms of evidence na ebeka ho no ya ye de yetimi ahyehye no ense na mabuku appointment no because law ne say time abe submit no online no sa time na was submit application no
okay because I akola the book no minji fifi and brand
me here copy kwa baby a biometric page no no so won saka ne le metina your application ne na in terms of appointment na be book no yetimi delay ho no. Why? And a very good question, Pan Webusan. Next week, maybe a topic. A very important. As a mamma for because there is a loophole here. You bet me a film, a saving crowd. And the question of Busano, why are dear pa? Tina say, Obia sem, a be, Obi so dear. Sanity. And you know, that as a pa, we are Jim Quampa, or Baba Jim Crawford. That was CP. Sasuna, Eja, Mr. Hayford, also the ono so eyobia odi ni case by said you ni case a bit difficult kakra satam na karima ba eno say fighting yeah fighting ni case kra na ye nwie no still no twin crofo ba ebi mo fi Birmingham ebi mo fi Manchester hwa me obi a obi am papa mi renview eno dia wo say ana ayem bone a mi renfi mo yem bone a get yourself ready cause mi nyawa mi bi be yo pa mini ma de say manenka dabi mo yem bone a get yourself ready. O come in once and bone a get yourself ready. Name mo yem papa so get yourself ready.
Okay.
De odi tua meka no enu abi na mde betua aka. Me I believe in that principle. Enti nene Mr. Boache so ye kasa na ofre ye kasa we busa question. But papa bi oda ye minti me say there bi owo ma omo ye nkora. Book yi e be beneficial to them. Mami to book yi ba konkoma no. Enti papa bi a wo ya unim dachi a obenya ho mfaso. Ana wo ye papa ma obi na men fetuo enkosi ni tiri so se chinchira damase because unim ada ono so be de e beda wase enti papa do ya yese wa ye papa no ama wunyame don't think say in pambe fa for na da wase don't think about it enipa na de ni pem eba beda wase a enu mom efe ese obe force nipa no amana ye de ada wase so ho sisi ameke papa me tro 1 letter money man charge no madwiri mu no me se ma ya che no free onya ne 3500 me se me to office anu aba e de ba se mo se lawyer papa ye ma minti also je 500 I was shocked up to now minti touch is ka no madwene ho minti ase so ho enti sa ne wiase ne tie do be ye bia no e da wanim e twen o ana oye bibia afa akoma pa ene adwene pa e ya ade no de aka nyina na e be ye enhyira ma questions ne de e me se ba na eba na se de oye di akira e me se ye nkone enti no enti ya do sipi mami agye nkwa enti meto on mami asa mami na afi ye nkopo sha beko I say please my father is an EEA national and I have 5 years. Can I apply for pre-settlement scheme? Yes, you can apply for pre-settlement scheme. Timesrel apply before 31st of December. Now enkofa asimbia emrel. Why? Very very important. And you know yada wasipi. I'm say your time no it could be you start 11. Say about 2:15. That means your program no for how long will you? I about 3 hours in here. Enti esi etwa so na yeko na nyame aduma next week ebesa baby especially yema me agenkwa issue ode baaye when to put in the application, especially if you are waiting for supporting documentation, what do you need to do? And also ebeba nyaba bema enkrofo practical advice and what can be done. Enti no lawyer dako someone tim nka biema na chese bidi nyame ejamu nyina nyame enhwe mo so na de dem akoma so bia no onye ma mo monhwe mo ho so yie. Coronavirus is real. And Kofuwa Neu, Miami schoolmate, America, woo, ja. Neba 9 years, woo. Our minim client, arms of Franco Faba, including Cranibia Baby Ugo Chromo. Entina a bibia, is he taking it serious? Intimesremo, Mesa Edamiem, Pebibia Bebo Hubain Biano, Jerome Honebo Hubain. Yemia be at the question about Emerson or the Bayache is about visitors visa. Na mami hwesmet mi ansa no amana na me djuma na abade wie me hu se e was screen so me hu ba bia afa patcho so betimi asa apesti ama me biem a na nka betimi ansa ma okay obi say please is the EEA extended family visa still going like cousin brother? Yes, the visa has been there since 2004 and no any new visa wo e yade e da hoda na embom also prove financial dependency and also a membership of your household. Se kase financial dependency also prove say dependency no a dependency of necessity, not dependency of choice. Enti se nipa na maame ni papa ti ase a question no busa say ade no maame no pentimi enhwe wo. Enti no there have to be a very good reason. Enti awona wo hwe wo. Enti eno no a application is there but it's a very difficult application. Enti de metimi aka ne hono no. Yemya ba ko edeba wa busa question about visitors application ni hu ba bia afa say. Enti I'm struggling kakra. But send me answers our question, Emmanuel. Let me say, not more than 6 months, not more than okay. Where is it? I have got for listener. Okay. Me who baby afa. So can you me friend come answer mano. And yes, I will show Nathan Bema. I will go back and answer him privately. I do apologize. I know say what try say and come answer question amount, but me who question is say as we are speaking, people are posting, and as a result, it's making it very difficult to find out where it is. Enti layadako. I mean, you say obana se wa nkwa oji wani so. I fuchini yentraso nche. Enti na mbidi dwumadie beba na wiye na afi next week nyame ya adoma yebesa babiem na yasai aidie atoa so. Nyame enka mo nyame enhyira mu nyina na next week yebesa ehia biem. Mon share program no na enkrofo entie menim se ebeboa yenuanom pii. 1 chapter a day, keep the devil away. This is my way. May the Lord Almighty bless you. Dobnado. See ya next week. Bye bye. Ti yamfa nyumi so enye de enye de mpo. Me yamfa nyumi okay, yamfa nyumi emo nyumi na yamfa nyumi de no emra newie. Come on, now, so what's it?